Lori, I don't think. Oh, there it goes.
Is it working?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Sorry we're late.
Hey, everyone. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, are we having an echo here?
Oh, I hope not.
Okay, guys, hold on. We're having a yes. 1 minute.
Stand by for technical difficulties.
How about now? Is it still echoing?
Nope. I think that sounds pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, everybody, we're here. We actually made it. How is everybody tonight? How's everybody doing? We're doing well. Jen and I, we had some technical difficulty. We still might have some throughout the stream, but we think we're ready to go. Let's say hi to everybody. I see Dieter is here. I see Kelly. I see Sherry Lorraine. Doc is here. B is here. Mike. Yeah, we got quite a lot of people here today. Very nice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for being here. Hey, Dieter. Hey, Doc. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Mike. Hey, B. Hey, everybody. If I missed your name, hello, hello, hello. Sherry Lorraine, hello.
We're very excited to be here. Now, I am Lori from Real Cinema Therapy, and my co-host is Jen, the teacher. Jen, do you call yourself, what is your official name? Is it Jen the teacher?
I'm Jen the teacher, and I am also a scene invader.
And you're also a scene invader. That's right. You've been doing quite a few videos on your channel recently.
Yes, actually, I have. I did some videos on Welcome to Derry and recap and some live streams regarding Stranger Things, and then a lot of stuff with From and Silo. That's how I originally met that channel and got hooked up with them.
That's great.
From is how I actually met everybody. I think that really reunited me to everybody's channel, Sci-Fi Vision, and everybody else that we know and we're friends with on the Discord. Doc, especially with the From Academies. So, and done a lot of theory crafting with a lot of the ones that are in our Discord, in your Discord, and just all around. So this has really been a great community that's really branched off into many different shows and series that we've all either loved or hated and griped about, but I've had great theories about them.
And we have From coming up soon. Don't forget that.
I cannot wait till they drop that trailer.
I know. I think we're all waiting for that. Everybody's waiting for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting. So what do you think, before we get into Coldwater, what do you think is going to happen with From this season?
Oh, I'm pretty excited to see what they do. I'm really hoping that we go and do some of those flashbacks. I kind of really want to see what happened with the 70s. We're getting that new character, the preacher's daughter. So I'm really interested. And I know there's been a lot of theories been floating around, and I kind of don't have a definite yet. I need a little bit more. I need that trailer because a lot of the theories sound really, really great. But I'm curious to see what she's going to be bringing to the table. So yeah, I want to see what happens. I'm kind of hoping that they pick up right where they left off, and Kenny goes down into that cave, and we take off from there, and we get some more answers. Really, I would like to see exactly the origins of the town, and definitely some more story walking. That's really what I want to see. So got a lot of theories about that.
I saw somebody online say that Smiley is going to come and pay a visit to Fatima. he's going to look for his parents, mommy.
Wow, yeah, right.
And Grandpa Boyd.
Oh my gosh, right? Jeez.
It should be so much fun.
Is Elf ready to be a daddy? That's the question.
Yes. Now, let me ask you, basically, it's interesting how it ended up with Julie's story walking. So I kind of want to see what they're going to do with that too. Like, how are they going to just jump to the future and not really show Jim's funeral? or and just like in a flashback, they may show it. I'm thinking.
Right, right. That's why I'm really kind of curious to see if they are going to pick right back up from where they left off. I'm hoping we don't get a crazy time jump because I kind of want to see where it was going. Remember in season 3, everything was changing. The leaves were changing, everything was getting cold. We even got snow. So the fact that the whole climate and the temperature was changing, even that was one of the reasons the boy in white said that he was growing up and he had never done that before, and it's because everything was changing. So I kind of really hope we go right back to where we left off so we can see
Mhm.
progression. I know it's been years since we started the show at this point, with Stranger Things, but we're getting up.
Yeah.
But I like that with From they haven't really given us these big jumps. We have a lot of flashbacks. We have all this shadowing and stuff, flashbacks, and we kind of see things going on with the story walking and kind of where that goes as far as time is concerned. But I really hope that we can see what they do. Tabitha's reaction to Jim being dead, and just seeing how the town reacts and where they take it from there. Especially Jade. I think that's going to hit Jade really hard as well as Tabitha. So I want to see those reactions. I think it just anchors us more to the characters to see that pain that they go through, considering this is so unimaginable to be in this place. So I want to see those reactions and see where they go from there. And I think that might be a real turning point for everybody in the family because
Oh yeah.
may not
Now,
be a character who's there.
who do you think the preacher's daughter is? I mean, where is she coming from?
So I mean, I've seen the theories online that it might be the pastor that Tabitha visited when she was on the outside world that kind of
Ah,
to find the mailbox. I don't know if or to find the address so that she can actually go find Victor's home. I'm not sure if I mean that would be a great theory, and I think it's kind of too easy to be that. So I'm kind of curious, and that's also assuming that she comes from the same place that Tabitha was left in Maine. She might not be there. She might come from Texas or Ohio or somewhere down south like Georgia or somewhere in like the Baptist Belt. So I'm thinking that I would prefer it actually to be someone from somewhere else, especially because they have that map with all like the thumbtacks that show where everybody's from to give us like a different clue or connection. So I'm
mhm.
hoping it comes from somewhere else, but I have cult like theories for her.
Yeah.
Cult like theories for her and her upbringing.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's going to be really interesting.
Right.
Okay, so let's get into Coldwater now.
Oh yes.
I have to say that I've missed Andrew Lincoln so much. I really have. I mean, he is the Walking Dead to me. I mean, of all the characters, I mean, I love Shane. I
Hmm.
love Negan. I mean,
Hmm.
Morgan, Daryl, Carol. There are so many
Right.
characters I love, but
Hmm.
Andrew Lincoln is the show to me. I mean, Rick Grimes, he just comes alive on the screen. And we haven't seen him in a while. The last thing we saw was The Ones Who Live. And it was good, but I mean, it wasn't great, but it was nice to see him back.
Right.
So I was excited when Coldwater came out because even though it's a very different kind of show from The Walking Dead, it's Rick Grimes back. It's Andrew Lincoln. He plays Rick Grimes in a way. Would you agree with that?
I
His character
actually
his
actually I
character is
do. I see
different.
what you mean.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
see
his
what you mean by
character
that.
is very different, but there is certain facial expressions that he has. There's certain things that he says that I see Rick in him.
I agree. There's parts when he's talking with his wife on the Coldwater show where it reminded me of the way he would have conversations on The Walking Dead. And you're
Yes.
right. I was so ecstatic to see, Andrew Lincoln back. That's what actually drew me to the show. Just seeing his face exactly like the way you have the screen up there now. Seeing him brought me to the show. And then to see that there was all this elements and it was completely different from The Walking Dead, I was like, oh, we're going to get him in his element again, but in a different way, a completely different way, because there are no walkers, but you're still dealing with something that just isn't right. And you kind of have to, it's another evil, I guess is a better way to say it. He's got to deal with a different type of evil and battle his own demons in a different way. But I really, really am liking his character so far.
Yeah, me too. I'm liking it, and it's interesting because I'm looking at it from a psychological point of view as well. And
Hmm.
his relationship with the neighbor Tommy is very unusual, and it kind of reminds me of his relationship with Shane a little bit. In one of my videos, I compared a certain scene, which we'll get to. It's in episode 2, where it reminded me of Shane. Shane had this bad boy element to him that was lurking under the surface, and Tommy kind of has that. And I think John is drawn to it the way Rick was drawn to Shane in a very similar way. So, yeah.
I do agree. I think that whether it's Rick or John, I think that Andrew Lincoln's characters in both show there's something that's that wild card that's missing in them that they find in their sidekick. And in this case, it would be Tommy, or in Shane in The Walking Dead, they find in their sidekick and their best friend, and they are equal and they're great friends. But there's definitely some difference, almost like Andrew Lincoln kind of wishes he could be that way in the role that he's playing. He can have that little bit of wildness and disregard and carefree, and even this being able just to stand up for who you are and say certain things, where we saw like Rick Grimes get that in his arc over the years of The Walking Dead. So we'll see where John card that he wishes he had as part of his personality.
Right. Yes, exactly. And this is a really interesting show. I mean, it's very different from The Walking Dead. I mean, you don't have zombies in here, obviously, but you do have murder. You do have strange people. You also have it's like an interesting backdrop too. So I think it's a good show. I'm just looking at the chat. Sherry Lorraine said that she's here for Rick or Andy. I agree with you. Yes, that's why we're all here, I think.
Absolutely.
That's the reason. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to take it slow. Okay, so this is how the show starts out. By the way, Andrew Lincoln's character's name is John. And John is just running. We're seeing him, and he's covered with blood. We're like, what's going on here? And then it says London. And then it says 2 months earlier. So it starts with John at the playground, and he's with his 2 kids. And basically, he's approached by this woman. Let me just pull her picture up. 1 second.
Before you even get to the woman, wouldn't you say the way he's so disassociated? And I know he makes a comment to his wife later on that he's just not a good father naturally. And I thought after hearing that later on in the episode, it brought me back to this scene where, the daughter is trying to, Violet or whatever, she's trying to show him something. And he's like, yeah, sure. While he's looking at his phone, not even looking at her. He's barely pushing the sun. And just to see his disassociation, and he's like almost resentful that he has to take care of them and be there with them. And he's finding every distraction he can just to soothe his anger for not really wanting to be there. And then, like you said, this woman approaches, but the way he portrays it was just so good. I was like, you're such an asshole right now.
Yeah. Well, and as we find out, he's a stay-at-home dad, and we could see he doesn't like doing it, right? Exactly. He doesn't like it. He has no patience for the kids. He screams at the kids. And it's upsetting. It's upsetting for him. And these poor kids, that they test him too. They definitely test him.
They do. They do. When they're in the car scene later on, which I know we'll get to, we'll talk about it. That scene with his facial expressions were so great. It was amazing acting. He
was like, shut up. Okay, so here's the lady who comes up to him on the playground, and she's pushing her daughter on a swing, and she's talking to him. And he says that she says, are you from London? You were from around here? He said, yes. And they're just having a very quiet conversation. You could see he's really uncomfortable because he doesn't want to be doing this. He wants his wife, I think, to be doing this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think he even mentions that.
And it's interesting because then his wife is calling him on the phone while he's talking to this woman. And what does he do? He shuts it off.
Yeah,
right?
He begged for a call. And that's what I was like, oh my gosh, not only are you disassociated with your kids, you're looking for like a way out of your family, or at least to cheat and have an affair. Like he was all checking her out. And I was like, what's going on here? You're not giving me a good, I'm not getting good Rick Grimes, man. Like you're not being like the royal guy here. What's going on?
We're going to tell Michonne on you.
I'm going to come chop her head off.
That's it. But anyway, so at the time when you're watching it, you're like, okay, he shuts his phone off, but you don't think twice about it. It's like, whatever. And then let's see. Okay, so his kid is on a swing, and this other kid comes over and he wants the swing. And John is like, hey, it's okay, go away. My son is on the swing. And then this bully comes over, this guy. This is the kid's father. Hold on.
The way that kid's father came over to the kid, for one, you knew exactly where the kid was getting it from, like why he was acting that way. But
Yes.
number two, the way he came over was very militant, and it was quite shocking. I was like, is he like, I knew that was the father, but the way he was acting was like a military sergeant or like a police officer. It was just, yeah, there he goes. And the way he manhandled his son, I mean, I it was a little disturbing.
Yeah, he just slapped the kid across the face.
Exactly.
And, right in front of John and this other woman on the playground. And the woman gets hysterical and she's yelling at the guy. And she's like, I'm going to call the police. You can't hit your kid like that. And so what happens is the guy comes over to her and you figure, well, what's he going to do? Right. And he actually ends up hitting this woman. I mean, but not just hitting her. He's kicking her in the stomach. He has her on the floor. I mean, it was horrible.
It was horrific what he was doing, but I don't know. I mean, being in the school, we talk about this kind of violence and shouldn't get involved, but we talk about the bystander and watching him stand there. And even though he was horrified and probably terrified, and we see later on that he kind of really doesn't have the stomach to really stand up for somebody until he snaps. So watching him stand there, I was actually getting so angry more with John, with Rick Grimes. I was getting so angry. I'm like, how are you just standing there? Even if he can't get involved and rip the guy off of her for kicking her in her stomach while she's down and repeatedly kicking her, like, not to scream, shout, nothing. I was like, what's the deal? Until when people started running over, then he was like, help. And I was like, guy, come on. You don't stand there and watch that. I'm like, where's your manhood at? Like, if that was your mom, your wife, you have a daughter, clearly it was just, it was a reach. When I was watching them, I'm like, okay, now I'm definitely in to see what goes on after that opening scene. I was like, but man, the anger and rage I have right now. So let me just ride this one out real quick. So, I mean, to see that kind of violence from one stranger to the next, and then it be from like a stronger guy to obviously a more petite, smaller woman, I was just like, wow, it was just crazy.
Yeah, it was. I agree with you. And it was very unlike Rick Grimes, because Rick Grimes would have intervened.
Exactly. That's why I was like, what's going on here? In 2 seconds, you ruined my Rick for me, but we're going to bring him back, right? That was the hope that I had staying on watching the rest of it. And it did get good, but I was like, that's not my Rick.
I mean, this is not Rick. I mean, the Rick that we know would not do that.
No.
So, and then you're wondering what the hell is wrong with John? Why isn't he? Look at this guy. He's hitting her. He's stepping on her, right? And right. John is he's terrified. He's grabbing onto his kid, right? So you have to say, what is going on there? Why isn't he like doing anything?
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I immediately thought, like, had he been abused? Is he just a person that's never dealt with that? So immediately different traumas entered my mind on why he was so frozen and terrified. And you could clearly see, like, he did. I mean, as an actor, Andrew Lincoln did an amazing job with both episodes 1 and 2, all the facial expressions. You can clearly see that he is emotionally broken.
Yes, he is. You could see that he's traumatized also.
Exactly. Yes.
And we don't really know what's going on with him. We just see that he's traumatized. He's upset. He wants to help, but something is preventing him from doing it. He grabs his kid and he runs away, basically. Right. And then he remembers his daughter, that he left his daughter in the playground. He had to go back and get his daughter. And then somebody says to him, this guy comes over to him. Let me pull this guy up. Hold on a second. This guy comes up and he's like, hey, man, why didn't you help her? Why didn't you do something? And you could see he feels really bad about it. He's very traumatized. We don't
Right.
know what his deal is. We have no idea because we're just meeting him for the first time. But you
Right.
can speculate. Maybe there's some trauma there. Maybe he has, some issues going on. But anyway, so he's really upset. This poor woman is like, let me see, where is she? Hold on.
I mean, this guy here that you have on the screen before you bring up the woman, I mean, he said everything that we were all thinking. And then to watch, like you said, Andrew Lincoln's face and see his reaction, you knew right away, traumatized. We don't know what it is, but something is deeply to the core affected and changed him, and even how he reacts to violence around him. Right.
Yes, absolutely. So, it is. I mean, look, what would you have done as a woman? If you saw something like that going on, what would you have done?
Me personally, I am a teacher and I'm not supposed to do this, but me personally, I would have gotten up and hit them. I would have ran over and started screaming. Something. I probably would have gotten involved. My husband would be very upset, but I would not have been able to stand there and watch that without taking something out of my purse, which we're not going to say I have, but I have plenty of things in my purse. I would knock them out. Fuck that. Like that's just like that's to me, that's just incomprehensible to stand there and watch. And if I felt that I was in danger, then I'd be making all the racket in the world for every single person around me to come help me jump this motherfucker. Like that's how mad
Right,
I would be getting. Excuse my language, but I wouldn't be able to stand there and watch it. I'd be enraged.
right.
Clearly, I do not have the trauma that he has that we don't know yet. But even whatever trauma I do have, my initial reaction is to fight back, not to
Yes,
fight. So that's me. And clearly, when someone doesn't share that reaction, like I would, my first question is why? What is it? What's the context of this person that would make them freeze or stand there or just watch with a smile? So, I mean, there's all different types of people in this world, and we don't know what they go through. But I know personally, I would have fought, and I would have been like the guy that we saw that I'm like, why didn't you do anything? Like, I probably would be that asshole to say something like that to him and almost kind of not remember that clearly he didn't do something because he's been traumatized.
yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, but you could see the anguish on his face. I mean, he was really upset. I mean, look at him. He's looking at her, and you could see how guilty he feels. It's horrible. Look at his expression. He's like, why didn't I do something? But
Right.
there's something there that we don't know about yet. There's something going on there. So anyway, he leaves the park. He's running for his life. He couldn't run out of there fast enough. And then we see him get back to home. And here, let's see, where is that? Here we go. So that's his wife and the two kids. He's running back. And his wife is totally confused. She's like, what's going on? Where are you going? He drops the kids off, and then he just like runs. Let me see where he goes. Here we go. So, yes, right there. So she's looking at him like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And we find out that John likes to run. Basically, he gets very stressed out, and running is his way of getting out his stress and his anxiety. So throughout the show, we see that whenever he gets upset, he goes on a run, and he runs at all times of the night as well, right?
Yes.
So let's see. So here, okay, so he's running here.
Yeah, and he
Okay.
takes off, man, looking at the back of his legs and the way he was running. I was like, Rick Grimes, here we go. We're back.
Rick, you would not be running, Rick. You would be coming at them with a gun. You would have blown that guy. You would have blown that guy's head off, Rick.
Oh man. But watching him run made me feel good. Not
Yeah,
that
yeah.
while he was running, I mean the watching of him while run. I was like, "Ooh, okay." But yeah, watching seeing the shock on his wife's face, that was so that he goes into these like manic moments where he is stressed out, freaking out, and needs to run, and he doesn't express or tell what's going on or the reasons why. And she's kind of left clueless. And you can tell by the way she kind of just let it happen that this is definitely not the first time this has happened. She kind of
Right.
just needs to figure it out. And this is acceptable behavior so far in their relationship.
Yeah, that's true. And this is the opening, by the way. This picture. Again, he's running. But this is the opening. It's actually an interesting opening, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking about it. It says in the background, what does that say? London. Can you read that? London something
So I
runs
thought
from
it said
crime scene. Oh,
London
London's.
coward. London coward runs from the
Ah,
crime scene. London coward. I saw that. It's written down in my notes.
that's so strange. Now, why is that there?
So, so as we're gonna get into the rest of the episode, we find out that the reason why they've moved, right? Because they've moved now, from this playground scene, right? When we come to the next opening scene, we've realized that they have now moved. I forget the name of the town, but they have moved out of London, and the reason why they moved, it was his idea, and it was because violent situations like this were happening, and he needed to get away from it. And
Right.
she couldn't give an explanation. So he's like, all right, I guess we're moving. So they moved, and she chalked it up to, writing this new book, and I need some space and to get out of the city so I can have a nice, more suburban life, so I can finish writing this memoirs that she's writing about or I guess a cookbook, but she finds
Yeah,
out in
she's a
her
chef.
memoirs. She's a
She's
chef,
a
right?
chef. Right.
But he's the one that wanted originally to leave, and we find out halfway through episode 2 or by episode 2 that he kind of is grateful now that he moved, but he was resenting her for it, and she was kind of fearful. So they have a lot of issues in their marriage, and I know you and I were talking about that. But
Yeah.
he left London, and they packed up the whole family because he couldn't deal with him running away from these different violent things and acting like a coward. He didn't know how his children were going to view him, how his wife was viewing him, and they're having some issues now, and that's why they're in the town that they're in, which is now in Scotland, outside of London. They're like, 2 hours outside of London in Scotland now?
Mm-hmm. That's right. But I'm just wondering, why is that written there on the first screen? I mean, who was supposed to have said that about him?
I don't know. I wonder if it's somebody. I wonder if it's the guy that we saw. I mean, the people from the play park. Maybe they're the ones that were like, "Listen, this coward just ran, just freaking left this lady to get her ass kicked by some random bald dude, and he took off running. Forgot a kid, forgot one of the 2 kids, and just took off. He's a coward."
We got to get Rick Grimes here.
Seriously. So, I mean,
That is funny.
I think that was definitely somebody's take from the play park incident, and that's the headlines. And I don't think he can get it. He had to escape those headlines, and that's why
that makes Jen, you're right. That makes a lot of sense. Somehow that must have gotten out in the paper or something.
So I'm telling you, that guy that was like, "Why didn't you do anything?" He was the first one talking to reporters. He's like, "Listen, there was this guy, and he took off running with the kid, forgot one." It was all over the news over in the UK. Trust me.
Oh, I think you're right. I think that was the newspaper headline. Coward takes off. So they went to Coldwater. That's it. Okay, so we're
right over in a whole other country.
So we're he was so upset they had to go to another country. And in Scotland, they're like living like in this low level area where it's like nobody will know you're there. It's like you're hiding out, right? He's hiding out, basically.
He's hiding out. He's hiding from his cowardice.
That's funny. Okay, so this is part of the opening scene. So Ewan Bremner is phenomenal. He plays Tommy. What a performance by him, right? Jen, he's amazing.
Amazing. Another with the facial reactions, the way he moves his eyebrows and certain things, he delivers the performance that you already know that he is definitely the antagonist. He's going to be what either makes or breaks Andrew Lincoln in this. And I love it already. The way they've set up his arc so far, he's just a psycho. He looks like this charming guy. Like he is like a Ted Bundy, like, I mean, an older version, but he is this charmer, gets along with you, but he's got deep secrets and skeletons, and you can see it on his face. He gives you, like, he cringes you out. He's got that creepy thing going on when he speaks to you. He kind of like looks into your soul to find your secrets to use against you kind of way.
Yes, and in fact, he actually says, he said, John is in my soul or something, or I'm in his soul. Right. He
Yes,
actually
because they would
says
look the
that.
way he looks at him, right? They have
Yep.
this deep stare, and he says that, and he almost like, yeah, he is a creepy motherfucker. He is
he is
creepy.
he is so creepy,
And
and he's
and
so
the wife
gross.
doesn't like him either. The wife is like, "He creeps me out." I love
Oh,
when she says that about him.
oh, John's wife. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
John's
really
wife.
creeped out. Well, he
Oh,
says a lot. Well, in the second episode, what he said to her, right? Oh my
right?
God. We'll get
Yes.
to that.
We'll get to that. That's I didn't wanna we'll get to that.
Yeah. Now if you look in the background here, you see that one man is attacking somebody else in the back. Do you see that? Under
Yes,
the
I do.
spotlight, the lamplight.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
this is who Tommy is. Tommy is a killer, right? That's what we know about him.
Right.
We don't know to what extent. We just know that he killed somebody, and we're going to get to that, of course, in this episode that happens.
Mhm.
Okay, so, and then we have this opening shot. Really interesting opening shots.
And you see the
Both,
north, that's kind of where they went, the direction that he ran in.
yeah,
I thought that was a nice little nod, one shot later, I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh, yeah."
yeah, it
Yeah,
is. Now,
find
what
that.
does that say? It says something, won't something nearly dead. Can you read that?
I think it says wounded, left nearly dead,
Oh,
wounded, left
oh,
nearly dead, which I think that's a foreshadowing of what we're gonna see at the end of episode 1.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes. I
because
agree.
he
Yeah,
ran because he ran north, right? And he
right.
winds up in Coldwater, and then wounded, left for dead, nearly dead. But we're gonna find out what really happens. But
Yes,
yeah, that's I thought that was a nice foreshadowing. And then all the lights, I liked that because when we get to episode 1, we kind of see those flashlights going off at the outside. And there's that
yes,
light. So I was like, ooh, this was kind of good. When I watched it on the second time, I caught that. I was like, I
right.
like these little details. You almost don't catch it on the first go until you come back and slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Let's check out the chat right now. Let's see what people are saying. Let's see. Oh, we see Scarlett joined us. Hello, Scarlett. And Jamie from Sci-Fi Vision also. Hi, Jamie. And let's see who else. Got a lot of comments here. Let's see.
I just tried to Sherry Lorraine's too funny, not a Rick, but a Rick run.
You have to channel your inner Rick. That's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Some karate would be useful. Yes, Mike. Absolutely. It's too bad he doesn't know karate.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Carl. Exactly. Right. He should be yelling, Carl.
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah.
Mm.
Trying to see what everybody is saying.
Yeah, I'm with you. If it came to my child, I'd be fighting no matter what. I probably would choose to fight anyway, but I see what Beehive is saying. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was thinking
flee
that
and flee and fight.
too, B. He had his children there,
Mhm.
right? If he would have fought this guy, maybe something would have happened to him. And what about his kids?
That's true. That
Right?
is true. Right.
So I
That's
guess
that's
we have to take that into account.
yeah. Yeah, because then I mean, I know he's very, conscious about what his kids think about him. So imagine if they saw him fight and beat up somebody. I mean, is it worse to see your father as this deranged fighter that can hurt somebody physically bad, or as a coward that ran? I don't know. I personally don't know. I would probably choose the first rather than the latter. And I'm
Right.
not saying that that's the right decision. I think it's probably the wrong decision. I just know from experience, I'm very hot-headed and I'm quick to want to try to, you know, I guess in my mind, violently fix the situation. Again, not the
Hmm.
best choice, but if I saw that violence, I would respond probably with violence. And I don't know about the context. I do have kids. I've never experienced that, so I don't know. I've never had to have that issue in front of my kids. I've been fortunate enough, but
Right.
that definitely does add context on why you might want to just stay put or not do anything. God forbid he turns and hits your child. I mean, it'd be game on at that point. Dude wouldn't be walking out of that playground if he hit my child. But
Exactly.
but I could see you taking a precaution because you're like, listen, I want to protect my kid, but I'm not trying to do anything to have my child hurt or targeted.
Right. Right. Exactly. So it could be that. It could be that a combination of things. But I think it's more to do with the terror, the trauma that he experienced at some point in his life. And maybe this is just a recurring theme for him, which we do see it is a recurring theme for him. For some reason, he attracts very aggressive men that are in his face. It keeps happening to him over and over. And then we get to find out why that is. And we're not going to talk about that now. But there's a
Right.
reason why this is happening on a psychological level,
Mm,
almost on a subconscious level. He's drawing certain people to him for a reason.
right.
Now, this is Indira Varma. She plays his wife, Fiona. She's great. She was in Games of Thrones. Do you remember her?
Oh, yes, I do. I loved
Mm-hmm.
her. She came
Mm-hmm.
out with Pedro Pascal.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah, she had a good role on there,
Mm,
definitely. It was a very small role. She wasn't on it too long, but it was good.
right.
Um, yeah. Oh, Beehive says his daughter watched him run away and leave her there. And I have to say, I wouldn't have forgotten my kid. Well, yeah. I mean, he was so panicked, he just ran the hell out of there.
Mm.
Uh, let's see what else.
Oh, I like what cool nerd Rupert said. He said there is a saying, you don't know the violence it took to get this calm. I think John has a past. I agree. There's got to be something that's given him this fear, or for Tommy made him that calm to deal with the situation by the end of episode 1. So I like that saying a lot, Corey.
Yeah, I do too, and I think it's true. I think we don't know anything about his past, but certainly something happened to him. Um,
And not to tie in Stranger Things, but I thought I like the imagery that you have up on here now where it says that they're leaving Birmingham, but he's running up that hill. So I thought that was great. You see his little character and you see the city, and then it goes just to the street lights. Like you could see how, like, his trajectory and how he's been running from this episode to episode 2.
yes. Now it's interesting that it says they're leaving Birmingham because I thought they were in London.
I did too, that they were actually in London. So I wonder if I am not familiar with the UK in that area at all. So I'm not sure if Birmingham is a suburb of London, like
No, it's
kind of like,
far. It's
so
far.
yeah. I wasn't sure about that either. I wanted to look that up. Like maybe I'm not even sure exactly what it is, if it's a province of where Coldwater is, or that's like the region where London falls in. I'm not
No.
really sure why it said that either, unless
Birmingham
that's
is a
something else.
major Birmingham is a very big city. I mean, not as big as London, obviously, but it's a big city. In I think it's called the Midland area of England,
Okay.
Midlands. They even have a major airport there. So it has nothing to do with London at all. It
So
has
I
nothing
wonder,
to do with Scotland. So I don't know
yeah,
what the hell it is. I
the
don't know why
the
it's
only
there.
thing yeah, the only thing I can think of then, so since I didn't get to research it and you just informed me, the only logical thing I can think of, in chat, let me know if you think anything else. I think that might have to tie into his trauma. Like we said previously, this is not the first time that he's been running. There's obviously something, and these things, these events where he's attracting these violent, bigger men that are showing him these things they're terrifying him, that he's running from. So maybe that might tie into the first trauma, or where he's had previous trauma before. We only know about this one move, but it can't be the first, and we'll see where this season takes us. But the
Yeah.
only thing I can think of is that so far all the headlines have been really focused on this episode, and there was nothing that I can think of that I knew of with my knowledge that tied it into the Birmingham, except for this one screenshot in the opening. So I can only think that maybe at some point as we go on through the episodes, it might come back and circle around to where he's from or grew up, and thinking that that might be where it's from or why it's there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe his childhood was in Birmingham. And that's probably where the traumas happened to him. Things
And
happened.
yeah,
And then he moved to London, and then he got married and had kids, and then that's what happened at the Playboy.
yes.
But yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so next image. Again, he's running, and look there. That's is that Westminster Abbey over there on the left?
I Yes, that's the church. Yes, I did. Yep, that's what I thought of as well when I
Hmm.
first saw it. And there's another
So
shot
it's
I thought of it
London.
early on, but yep, London.
London. So yes, so he was in Birmingham at some point in his life. That's right. It makes sense because they showed that first. Now they're showing
Hmm.
London. Right.
Right. And then the
And
next
then
show, Coldwater.
right. And then we see a dog standing under the light there. I wonder what that's supposed to be.
We saw a dog in the episode that was barking. What was that from? Now that you say that, oh, was it at the when he went to? No, was it at the gas station that he peeled into that there was a dog? I thought there was a dog somewhere in the show that we heard barking, like incessant barking at one point. The dog wouldn't be quiet. I might be confusing it or something.
I
It's
don't
possible.
remember, to be honest. I don't think
Okay,
so, but
okay. Then
maybe,
I might be
maybe.
confusing it because I've been watching a lot of things this whole weekend. I had
Yeah.
a whole binge of like two different series. I'm like, I might be getting some things confused, and I am
Well,
tired.
I know you're watching Stranger Things.
Yes, I did. I watched Stranger Things and I was looking to see what was going on with that whole conformity gate. And I skimmed through the behind the scenes thing today to see what was going on with it. I haven't really sat down to watch it, but I did read some of the cliff notes. Kind of glad I haven't watched it yet. There are more important things after hearing what I saw in the cliff notes. But
Yes.
I also watched a couple other things on Netflix that are pretty good. I watched His and Hers. I highly recommend.
Uh-huh.
And I also started watching Runaway, the Harlan, was it Harlan Coben's Runaway?
Yes. Right.
Yes. So I've been watching both of those. I finished His and Hers. I blew right through it. Amazing, phenomenal. I highly recommend. We should probably even cover it at one point. We should talk about it. That was
What's it
really
about?
amazing.
What's it
Oh,
about?
Um, it is about a murder that takes place that brings back some people from a town, and you realize that they're connected. And the news is covering the story of this murder, and the person reporting on the news is involved in it. And Shane from The Walking Dead, Shane is a character in the show.
Oh,
So
yes, I
watching
heard of I heard
him,
yes, who was the female lead? I think I heard
oh,
about this show.
oh God, I gotta look up her name. I've seen her in various things, and shame on me for not knowing her name. Let me look that up right now. She was phenomenal. That whole show, it had twists. There was parts that you can definitely predict, or like it could have gone this way or that way, but it was suspenseful, on your edge. It could be this way or that way, and you were kind of amped for it. And then certain things kind of took a twist, and then there was another twist, and then there was another twist, and I was just amazed.
Wow.
It was really good.
Wow.
The actress is Tessa Thompson, plays Anna. Tessa
Oh,
Thompson.
okay, okay,
And I know
yeah.
Corey in the chat's gonna be like, "How do you not remember her name?" I'm sorry, Corey. Tessa
Yeah,
Thompson. Yep. See,
Tessa
Corey already put it
Thompson.
in the chat. See, I knew it. Oh, yep.
Wow.
And she is beautiful, and she does an amazing job. But definitely something we should check out. We can definitely talk therapy with that.
Okay, sounds good. Definitely. Sounds like and I love John Bernthal.
Yeah.
John Bernthal is amazing. He and what's his name? Stephen, oh God, the guy who played Glenn. Stephen
Yee.
Yoon.
Yeah.
Yoon. Stephen
Yoon.
Yoon.
Thank you, Yoon.
Those two have gone on to have very successful careers. I mean, Stephen Yoon won an Academy Award 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's doing Invincible, I believe, and I love that show on
Yes.
Prime, the animated
Yes.
Invincible.
Yes.
Amazing. He does do a phenomenal job. I know it's just voice acting, but wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a
Wow.
great actor. Yeah. And
Yes.
so is John Bernthal. I
Yes.
love John Bernthal on The Bear. Did you see The Bear?
Yes, I did. I loved it.
Oh, it was so good.
It was so good. But
I love that scene. You know the episode I'm going to talk about, the one with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh,
Christmas
yes.
episode. Oh my
Yes.
God, I love that episode. Oh,
That was phenomenal. I was so shocked to see her on the show, and then it was just amazing. She's great. I love her.
I would love to actually have a watch party for that episode, and then we would talk about it afterwards if you want.
We can definitely do that. Absolutely.
That was one of the best episodes I've ever seen. It was amazing.
It was.
Amazing.
But getting back to the His and Hers.
Yes.
Any show that shows a dead body and that's the mystery within the first 10 seconds of the show, and then it hasn't even hit the credits yet, and then from there you kind of see that there's definitely this mystery behind what's going on, had me hooked right away.
Wow.
So from the first 10 seconds to the last 10 seconds of from episode 1 to episode 8 or whatever it is, it was a hell of a ride, and I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely highly recommend. I would watch that series again all over again. That was great.
Okay. I'm going to check it out, definitely. Okay, so here's the next one. Eve Miles she plays Tommy's wife, and she is phenomenal also. I think this cast is amazing. All 4 of them are amazing. She plays his wife, who is supposedly a religious woman who's a vicar, and she has her own stuff going on. Now
Every
it says
time you said that word vicar, I was laughing. I just think that's such a funny name. And I know the title. I was just like, a vicar. And the way they say it too in that shower scene, a vicar. Like they say it, vicar.
She's a vicar.
I know. And all the judgment and presumptions that they have about her, it was just hilarious. I'm like, this is what you talk about when it's religious people. You just make these presumptions. It was great.
Exactly. It was funny. Now, what does it say here? It says, "Welcome to Newcastle," and I can't read it. Can you read the rest of it?
It's woman something nearly dead. I know that says woman. I can't say.
Left. Woman left.
Is it another left? Woman left nearly dead?
Yes.
So yeah, woman left nearly dead.
Well, yeah, it's about the woman in the play park. Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that was the woman in the play park. I was thinking maybe somewhere down the line there's going to be another incident. Or did you catch when they were driving by the church that there was that big white banner that said missing girl Susie something?
Yes.
And then he actually looks at it again at the gas station. He actually looks at the flyer. I guess they're giving tours where the girl was last seen, which I think is creepy, but they were, she's still missing. And they're giving like walking tours to see if you find the missing ghost girl. I'm like, dude, she's only been gone for like 6 months. We don't do that in the States for like 100 years. What are you doing?
She's been gone 20 years.
Oh, is it 20 years? Okay.
20 years.
Oh, so maybe that's why. I think I missed that. I thought it was only a couple of months. I was like, really? You're doing walking ghost tours for the girl?
I guess there's nothing else going on in this town, right? So they have to promote something, right?
So I thought that referred to her, that missing girl Susie, because I definitely feel that that's going to come back up. And especially with, the little trinkets that Tommy has that we see in this little shed.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. No, it's very true. Okay, so
have you noticed the guy with that's standing like it's a scarecrow, but it has the resemblance of Jesus that's on the left side? I thought that vicar. Yeah, I thought that. In my opinion, the way it looks, I'm like, I definitely feel that that's Tommy. Like that's supposed. In my opinion, I think that would represent Tommy.
Yes, I agree with you. I didn't notice it before, but you're right. It is. It's him. Absolutely. And that looks like their church that they go to as well. That's the church.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And then we have this shot. Scotland welcomes you.
I think the Scots would be mad that they're just welcoming in this coward, but that might be.
I like what the therapist says later on. When he sees that therapist, and Tommy is friends with this guy, right?
Oh yeah, talk about a breach of confidence. I couldn't.
Oh my God!
About that, I'm like, dude, bro.
Yeah, that's a huge breach of confidentiality. Oh, I have a new patient. He was so excited. He says, "You're the only new person that's come here."
I know, right? Simple deduction right there.
Yeah, it's terrible. Okay, so Scotland welcomes you. And then we have Coldwater. That's where they are. They are in Coldwater, which is a fictitious town, by the way. It does not exist. But the scenery, I mean, it's beautiful. The countryside is absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, I was looking at it, I'm like, that would be nice to be there.
Oh, yes. It was breathtaking. I was like, wow. But, then you have these creepy people around.
Yeah, definitely. It's like people who are like mountain people, right? They don't really go anywhere. They don't really do anything.
Exactly. Everybody in that town knows everybody. I was like, ooh. And they're small.
It's a little too close for comfort, right?
I know, right?
Okay, so next it's we're now in Scotland, and it says 2 months later. So this is 2 months after the attack in the play park. And John, you could see he's laying there. He doesn't look very happy. Uh, he,
He doesn't look like
he,
he slept. He looks like he's been awake at night, tortured by this event from London and whatever else has happened to him.
exactly. Yeah, he's very traumatized. He has PTSD. There's no question about it.
Right.
So there he is in the shower, and he's, I guess, just saying, "Oh my God, another day here that I have to live. It's
Right.
another day."
Right.
And but he's been through a lot. He really has, you know. And I don't know, like you know, you wonder about his wife. I mean, we're going to get to her soon too, like what she's about. And I think he just feels like he's trapped in a way, you know.
I don't think, yeah, I definitely don't think he appreciates the dynamics of their relationship because he essentially is the house dad, right? He's at home and he's with the children, kind of assumes the role that a lot of people would presume a woman would have. And his wife is out there, and we're going to see in, the next couple of scenes that she's definitely the aggressor. She's definitely the one that's more assertive. She's the one that's out on the go and is like, listen, just give them to the kids, don't worry about this. And she kind of dictates what to do and how to do it. And when he doesn't know something, she's like, no, you're going to do this. And he kind of says, okay, and follows along. And I don't think he likes that, the way that their dynamic has become. He definitely feels that he is the lesser of the two between them when it comes to work, money, the respect of the kids, and just their dynamics. There's definitely not an equal balance between them. And he doesn't know how to express any of his anger and frustrations to her. And she tries to speak with him, and he's just he's very avoidant of certain topics and tries to kind of throw things back on her. And that's definitely a defense mode because he doesn't want to look inward.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. I agree. So here he's stepping out of the shower, and she's right there. She's like, and she wants to get it on with him.
Right.
And he's like, he doesn't want to. He's really
Right.
he's really hesitant. And we're like, what's going on here? Why
Yeah,
doesn't he
who
want to have
turns her
sex with his
down?
wife?
Seriously.
Why does
Hello?
it well, yeah, what is he doing? You know?
Listen, you're no Pedro Pascal, Rick Grimes. I love you and all, but you are no Pedro. And Pedro had that. Trust me.
Well, he had it too. I mean, you know. I
They
think
do,
he had it
right?
too. Yeah.
Oh, they definitely.
Uh, but yeah, so it's so we're wondering what's going on here. Um,
Right.
but it
Because he's
comes down to
definitely
him.
on.
He
Sorry.
feels emasculated. That's what it is. You
Yes.
know, she's the breadwinner. She works. He stays home with the kids. He doesn't like staying home with the kids. And we don't know what issues that exist between them, right? But we know that there's something going on. So she tells him that they're going to be having dinner with the next door neighbor, who are the vicar, the woman who's the vicar next door, and Tommy. And he says, I don't want to see these people for dinner, these religious people. I don't feel comfortable. But she says, well, they invited us. We have to go. So then he leaves with his kids. He has an appointment with his therapist. So she said, you got to take the kids with you. He said, I can't. I have a therapist appointment. She says, yeah, but I have to work. So you have to take the kids. So here he is with the kid, and they see something on the ground. And what is it? A dead mouse. So,
A
uh,
rat.
sorry, a rat, excuse me. And it's, the kid goes to pick it up, and John's yelling at him. He says, no, don't, don't touch it. It's a dead rat. And then let me just get the next shot. 1 second.
That's the first interaction, right?
Yeah, this is the first time he meets Tommy. Hold on.
Do you think that rat was there intentionally?
I didn't think about that until you just said it.
I definitely think that all of this was a setup. Like the vicar invited the wife over, and he's like, let's see what this guy's made of, in my opinion. It's just too
Ah,
it's just too weird to have been placed right there, knowing you, because in Great Britain they drive on the opposite side, so you knew you have to walk
right.
around to see that. I thought, and then he's waiting out there, like waiting, like with a bucket of popcorn, waiting to see this guy's reaction. So I just thought it was a setup from the beginning. Just seeing that it was a rat, I was like, huh, see what this is about.
I think you're right. I didn't even think about that. I don't know why. It didn't occur to me, but I think you're right. He wanted to meet him. And like
Yes.
you said, he's testing him. He wants to see what he's about. Wow. That's pretty intense. Okay. Well, okay. So I'm going to show you now what happens here. So one second. What happened? What did I do? Oh, what's going on? Did I take you off?
Oh,
sorry, Jen. I took you off by mistake. 1 second.
it's okay.
1 second. Trying to pull up all these files. Little bit of a technical difficulty today, guys. Okay, let's see where we are. Okay, we got this one. And
oh yeah, Corey, that's right. He liked Fergalicious. Remember, he tells that to the therapist. He was thinking about Fergie in the shower.
oh God, yeah. That was funny.
I'm Fergalicious. Sorry, it's like I was singing that part while the movie while I was playing.
Fergalicious. Yeah, so, and then this guy comes out of nowhere and he picks it up.
Yes.
Like so creepy.
Right? So creepy. I'm like, oh, you picked it up so easily because you put it there. You already touched it. That's why it's so nonchalant. Like, you picked up a rat that easily. Not a squirm or a flinch, nothing. Like, oh yeah, I just grabbed this out of my trash. Let me see what this guy's made of. Drop it and pick it back up. Jesus.
That is so funny. You're right. I think you are absolutely right. Because this guy, he doesn't care, right? He could touch anything.
Right? That shows like the psychoticness in him already. I'm like, oh, dude, there's something wrong with him. Even the way, like,
and then look at the way John's looking at him, like, what?
That face says it all. He's
that
like,
face says it all.
God,
what are you doing? What are you doing? And then he's laughing. He thinks it's hilarious.
Creepy red flag right up there right now. Red flag. Like when a guy's like picking up a dead like a dead rat. I've got some issues. Just a little. Like what?
I would run away if that was me.
And John pretty much tries that. He jumps in the car and like peels off. I was like,
yeah, he does. He asked John, he said, John, I'm going to pray. Would you like to come pray with me? And John's like, no, I really can't. I got to go.
Yeah. I'm in a rush.
Yeah, I'm kind of busy right now. And John couldn't wait to get away from this guy.
No.
It was very funny. And then John's in the car with his kids, and his kids are making so much noise, and they're just irritating him. He's so upset. You could see he does not like being a stay-at-home dad. He does not like it at all. And they just are getting under his skin. So, and then he turns around. This is funny. Let me see where this one is. He turns around. He's very angry. I'm sorry, 1 second. Where is it? Okay, yes. And then this is what you were talking about earlier about this Malky's murder tour.
Yes. That.
This woman is dead like 25 years, okay? Oh. What kind of tour do they have here? It's crazy, right?
Yes. I think
25 years. 25 years. Okay, and then John is so annoyed with these kids. He's yelling at them. I mean, you could see this is not what he wants to do. But the thing is, he never talked about what he really wants to do, right? We don't know anything about him. Did he go to college? Did he ever have a job? What kind of job did he have? Did he like his job? I mean, we don't know anything. So that's a problem, that they didn't really develop that part of him enough, And so now the kids are looking at him, like, because he tells them to shut up, and they're just staring at him. They're like, "You're ruining our good time here." Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, he leaves them in the car to go for his therapy appointment. I mean, how do you do that, right?
I don't know. I thought the same thing. I'm like, where did they go?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Okay, so here we have the countryside. I'm sorry, guys. Some of these screenshots are a little off. The countryside is so beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, that really is. Those rolling hills like that, it's in the way the clouds come up from behind them, it's just breathtaking. It really is.
I mean, I think that's amazing. It makes me want to move there, actually. I would not mind, you know.
Yeah.
Have you ever been overseas?
Yes. Yes. As a Spanish teacher, I actually lived in Spain for almost a year. I did 6 months one trip, and then I went back and I stayed 7 months for a second trip. And then I've traveled between France, Spain, Portugal, um, Italy, Germany. So I did a bunch of
Wow.
student tours over a course of 10 years, in
Wow.
Mexico. So, and I would take groups, me and another teacher would take groups of about 25 to 35 people, and that would include families. And we would go abroad, and we did it for 10 years straight. And we did Spain one year, Italy another year, France another year. And then we would rotate out Italy, France, and Spain. And then when we would go to Italy, we would go through like Greece. So we'd get a day in Greece. When we went to France, we actually, at one point we went through a route to go through Germany into Switzerland and then take us into the south of France. So we've done a couple of different tours. So I got good 10 years of travel in my late 20s, early 30s. It was marvelous. It's like a whole nother world over there in Europe. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I've been to Europe too. I love it, and I've been to a lot of the places you were in. I was in Spain. I was in Portugal. I was in Morocco. Oh my
Ooh.
God, Morocco was amazing. Oh, I loved it. Morocco was like the most exotic place I ever went to because you have
Ooh.
everything there. I mean, you have the mountains, you have the Mediterranean, you have the desert. I mean, I never saw anything like it. And people were different every place you went. Some
Mm.
places people were more religious, some places people were wearing Western clothes. I mean, it was just, I never saw anything like it. It was amazing. The Casbah, they had like snake charmers there. They had people like all kinds of stuff. It was amazing. But Spain was beautiful. I was in Madrid and south of Spain. South
Hmm.
Spain, by the Costa del Sol.
Right.
I was in Portugal, Lisbon, and a few other towns. Spain, I loved. I loved it. I speak some Spanish. I'm not fluent, but while I was there, I was speaking it a lot because not many people spoke English when I was there. So I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. I've been to France. I've been to Amsterdam. I've been to England. I was in London. I was in Birmingham. That's how I know where Birmingham is.
Gotcha.
So, I was in Ireland. Ireland's beautiful.
Oh, I
Oh,
want to go to Ireland so bad. Oh my gosh, I hear it's beautiful
beautiful.
over there. I have friends
Beautiful.
that live there and would commute back and forth, a couple
Yeah.
months here, a couple months there, and I was like, oh, I want to go. Take me with you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Wales, I never went to. I'm thinking where else? Oh, I was in Belgium briefly. I was in Brussels.
Mm.
Um, oh, I was in Italy. Yeah, I was in Rome, Florence, and Venice. Where else did I go? And I was in Greece. I went to an island in Greece. I flew from Birmingham, England, right directly to this island in Greece called Zakynthos, and it was
Ooh.
beautiful. It's on the Ionian Sea. Beautiful.
Oh,
That's how I know Birmingham because most people don't know Birmingham, but I happen to know.
no, exactly. That sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. So it was interesting. But I love Europe. I love it. And Mexico is my next trip. I really want to go to Mexico. So yeah, it's fun.
Mm.
Uh, and so Jen, you're from New York originally? Where are you from?
Yes, I'm from New
You are.
York. I've always been in
Yeah.
New York. Yep.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Where are you in New York?
I was born in Queens, and then my parents moved about an hour north. So I'm in Orange County in the Hudson Valley. And right
Oh,
now I'm across
nice.
the bridge. I'm up around Poughkeepsie right now,
Oh,
Wapping just south
beautiful.
of
Beautiful. How is living up there after living in the city?
oh my gosh, I would not trade it to go back for anything in the
Yeah.
world. As much as I
Yeah.
love that there's so much life in the city and you can do so much, there's also so much chaos and so many people. So being able to get away and live upstate and just have the peace. have is it's just priceless. I would not trade going back down to the city for anything in the world. I love living up in the, in the sticks, as like a lot of the people in the city say, you live in the sticks. And it's like only an hour outside of the city. A lot of people
Yes, it's not far at all. It's Poughkeepsie, you said. Well, what happened?
are only an hour and a half maybe from the city. I can get to the Bronx
Yes.
in 5 minutes and I have family there. To me, anything north is like past Albany, like Binghamton and Rochester, Syracuse, Utica. That's north. Like when you can get to Canada in a jump, skip, and a hop away, that's
Yeah.
north. To me, I'm like, I can't get to Canada unless I drive for like 6.5, 7 hours. I can get to New
Right.
York City and Long Island in a couple hours. I can make it to Jersey. Washington, D.C. is only maybe like 4.5, 5 hours for me. So, and it's quicker for me to get to Washington, D.C. than it is to Canada.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love it upstate. I do.
Where are
I
you
love.
about?
Oh, I'm in Brooklyn. I'm still
Oh,
in the city.
I'm in Brooklyn every other weekend. That's where my husband's family's from. So we're
Oh
always down
wow.
there. We're in Flatbush area, like every
Oh
Sunday.
yeah. I
So,
also lived in Queens. I lived in Astoria for a long time.
oh yes.
Um, hmm
Do you know where
Yeah.
Flushing is? Where
Oh
College
yeah.
Point in Flushing. That's
Oh
where I was
yes.
born, in the
Uh,
Flushing Hospital.
oh wow. Oh wow.
Before it became a warehouse and then turned back into a hospital.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, but I tell you, upstate is great. I mean, the mountains are beautiful. The air is even different, right? The air quality.
Yes, the air quality and even being able to look up the stars. I mean, we still have a lot of light pollution here, but I could see stars unlike being in the city. So I do love it up here, and it can get quiet, which I like. I like that silence in the summertime when you go out at night and you can have like a little fire pit outside and you can actually like hear the wilderness out there. It's not Yellow Jackets wilderness, but you can still hear the wilderness out there. I'm not hearing
Oh,
those croaking toads that we all thought it was somehow really
oh,
supernatural, and
that
it croaks.
oh, that was funny.
That caught me. That caught me. I was like, "What? It's frogs? No way!"
Yeah, Yellow Jackets is another great show.
Yeah.
Really good show. Yes, and I don't know when that one's coming back either. You know, have you heard anything about Yellow Jackets?
No, I'm waiting for them to come back. I did see something saying that they were in. And I do not recall if it said they were filming or they were in production and filming had wrapped, but something came out right around the holidays saying something about Yellow Jackets. Again, not sure if it was a fake. It came across one of the socials. I saw it. I think somebody passed it up and put it on one of the discords or around, and I'd seen it.
Oh,
I really want to see what's going on. I mean, we got a lot of big reveals in the last season.
yes,
Still not, I really want to see. I believe they're going to continue a lot more from the moment that they all get back, right? Because that's kind of where we left off.
yes,
So them actually coming back and seeing like all the damage that this trauma has done to them once they're back home, I think will be where the next season's going.
yes.
You can see like what happened with Lottie. I know that she's, spoiler if you haven't seen it. I know she already passed in the last season, but they're going to show Lottie coming back and how she
They
was able.
are. They are.
Well, the one of the last scenes was like, not coming back to life as an adult, Lottie coming off the plane and then being rescued. So seeing Lottie develop into this cult-like figure and get the wellnesses and see how she kind of gets to that point,
Uh-huh.
like recreates the stairs where she was offed on. So I'm really curious to see how they all react when they come home. Like when Shauna actually sees Jim, and I think that's his name, Jim, right? There's a Jim from, and I think the guy's name was Jim too. Her husband on the show and Yellow Jackets. I know Callie was
Oh,
there. I forget what what the husband's name is.
I don't remember now either. Now that
But
you
yeah,
just
now
said
that
that,
it's
right?
been so long,
Yeah.
these shows need to
Yeah.
really pick up their
I think
return
the
time.
problem is they just take too long to come back.
They
And by the
really do.
time they come back, people forget the show already, you know?
I think it's a hustle. I think that they must get some type of royalties or payout every time we stream and redo all these rewatches right before the new season drops. They definitely have to make like a killing off of that. I think that at this point it's done for that, just so they can get people to rewatch the season a second or third time before the
Mhm.
season. There has to be, because they take so damn long. You mean with all the technology that we have, we still have to wait 2 years for like a seat, like all this stuff to come with all the people that need to work. You can't find people to set up a shop and film and get things done. It takes 2 to 3 years, really? Please.
I know, because I used to do it quickly. Why is it now taking so much longer, right?
Exactly.
But if
Exactly.
people say something about the writers, they don't have as many writers as they used to have. I don't know. But
There's
that's
plenty of
what I've
people that
heard.
graduate with an English degree. They need to get half the people on Discord can create just as good as stories. The theory crafting that we do in all these Discords, hire some of us. We can use a little side hustle.
It's true. A lot of the writers they have, they're horrible. They are awful. Look at Fear the Walking Dead. They
Oh
ruined
God,
that show.
they
They
ruined it.
ruined it.
They
I
did.
mean, I mean, the writing was laughable. It was really, I mean, I felt bad for Morgan, Lenny
Yeah,
James. I mean, what a great actor, what a great character. And they just
amazing.
killed his character on that show, I think.
I
But
agree.
anyway,
And he waited to he they waited and like moved production schedules and filming schedules for him, and he did the same. Like he was huge on that show, and I thought it was, and him moving back and forth between The Walking Dead and The Fear, and then the way they did The Fear, I was like, oh come on, you have
yeah,
this guy run back and forth for you guys to do that to no.
right,
But
right.
that's kind of where I knew things were gone. I was like, you couldn't even follow the source material anymore from like the comic books. I was like, just throw that out the window. I was like, we're on a free for all at this point, whatever.
Right, right. So, okay, let's get back to the show. We're going on tangents
Coldwater.
here.
I know, sorry. Sorry, everybody.
Okay. Okay, so John is at his therapist office. This is his first session with the therapist. And he looks a little apprehensive. And therapist is like, okay, John, what can I do for you? Why are you here? And John's not really saying much. So the therapist is like, well, why don't you tell me about what happened in London? And John's like, well, I don't know if I really want to talk about that. So then the therapist is like, well, how about we talk about your mother? And he says, no, I'm not ready to talk about her.
To me, I thought that was such a telling sign.
Yes,
Immediately, I was like, mommy issues.
exactly.
He's like, you got to kind of ease into it. You don't like disclose everything on a first date, I think is the way he describes it to his wife. And I was like, that's exactly how he handled it. Like he was so apprehensive. I'm like, dude, the point of you being there is to talk to him. And this was before he even knew that Tommy or anybody knew about his appointment. He was already this apprehensive. Like you were really that guarded. And something terrible has had to have happened to him multiple times. I think it's not even like an isolated event. I think there's
Yes.
series of traumas, like a series of unfortunate events have happened in this man's life. Because
Oh, absolutely.
the fact that he didn't want to talk about the whole reason that brought you to Coldwater, which in my opinion, even though that's what's keeping him up at night, or one of the things keeping him up at night, that's probably the most recent, probably least traumatic things that he can talk about, considering how guarded he is. There has to be something way worse that has happened to him. So to say that I witnessed a fight and ran away from it, I mean, I just think he didn't want to tell another man that he did that, to be quite
Yes.
honest.
I also don't think he even wants to rehash it for himself. He wants to like bury it because
Yes.
every time he talks about it, he feels so bad about himself, right? He feels like he's a coward. He ran away. So
Right.
it's very hard for him to, I think, to even discuss it really. But the therapist keeps trying to engage him, and I'm thinking to myself, why is he even seeing this therapist? He's not talking about anything, right? But actually, a lot of people in therapy are like this. A lot of people, they come to therapy, they don't really know what therapy is about, and and they sit there and they don't know what to say. So this happens more than you think. So the therapist is trying to get him to speak. And the therapist says, well, what else is going on? How are things with your wife? So then John did speak about his wife a little bit. And he said, well, this morning my wife wanted to have sex with me, but I really wasn't into it. And, but that's all he said. He didn't say anything else. The therapist, again, is trying to get information, and John's not telling him anything. Right. So
Right.
what did you think about that? What was your feeling about that?
I thought that, honestly, I thought that he was just going to therapy to go through the motions of saying he was seeking help, but he was still avoiding it, just like he avoided all the other conflicts in his life. It definitely looks like he is not really willing to participate and do the work, or at least he's prolonging it. Right. Because at least if he sees this guy maybe a couple of more times, maybe they'll start cracking it in. And I do understand that there is that apprehensivity when you're meeting somebody for the first time or going to therapy for the first time. I mean, I've been to therapy, and I know the first time I didn't want to divulge everything, but I'm pretty much an open book and transparent. So it's kind of, I was able just to naturally talk, but I could see how people can be scared or intimidated or feel judged, even though it's supposed to be a safe space. I feel
Yes,
like he just did not trust that person. He saying it out loud was like saying it to himself, which he did not want to hear. And I felt
yes,
like he had to find a therapist because that's one of the reasons why he's not working. I think there's conditions on why he's, a stay-at-home dad. I think that maybe they need him to be a stay-at-home dad, but I think that there was a reason that made him be a stay-at-home dad. And one of those things was something that has to do with this trauma and why he needs to go to therapy.
hmm,
I personally thought, I'm like, oh, you're just going through the motions because you had to find a therapist to continue whatever lifestyle that you were trying to change and come from in London. You're just kind of trying to pick that back up here in Coldwater. But I felt like he's just going through the motions.
So you think maybe his wife wants him to be in therapy?
I do. I mean, I didn't think it was court mandated, but I definitely thought it was something like him and his wife had discussed, and she kind of maybe, you should probably go see somebody and get some help. If you're going to be home, and this is bothering you that much that you can't go out there and work, then maybe you should go get some help for it to get you better. Because she's
Right.
definitely aware that he has some issue and that it's definitely preventing them from being intimate. So whether it's the intimacy that she kind of demanded him to go find therapy, or whether there was something else that caused there to be intimacy and he found therapy, but I definitely think he's going through the motions. I mean, he had no problem saying that he was, doing whatever he was doing in the shower to Fergie. To me, I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he
Right.
had no problem divulging that part. And I do know like it's a guy thing and they'll talk about that kind of a thing and it's nothing to them. But he obviously felt safe enough on one level to speak to him about certain things, but the things that he wanted to control and talk about and the narrative that he wanted to give, not to be deceptive, but just to kind of hide who he really is.
Yeah, that's very interesting what you said. It's true. And also she made a remark, his wife, after he came back. She said, "So did you talk about whatever?" He says, "No, it was the first time I met him." And
Yeah,
and I think it was she was talking about their sex life. I think that's what she was intimating because she said something about, "Did you tell him about us?" So I think
right.
that's what it was. Yeah. She wants him to go because she wants him to work on whatever his problems are so they could have sex, basically.
Pretty much. I mean,
you know?
not too much different from her her got role. She was very horny there too.
Oh, yes. Oh, so John was telling the therapist, just so if people don't know what we're talking about, that he was pleasing himself in the shower while he
Yes.
thought of Fergie. So the therapist says, Fergie, Ferguson from the royal family. And he says, no, Fergie, the singer Fergie. That was funny.
It was. I thought it was hysterical. It definitely showed their like the disconnect that they already have. One is definitely
Yes.
more in the world and he's definitely more old set in his ways. He didn't even know who that was when he mentioned
No.
her. So
Right.
I thought that was funny. I was like, oh, this is definitely not helping this man's cause to get John to open up to him. If you at least like take the funk, like, oh yeah, Fergie's hot, like something, something to get him to believe in you, buddy. Something to get him to believe. This is not going well. There's dust rolling. There's crickets. Oh man.
It
But
was funny.
yeah, he tried.
Yeah.
He definitely did try.
And then he said, "Were you thinking about your wife while you were doing it?"
Right.
Remember? And
And
he
that
says, "Do you
triggered
do
him.
you do you think about your wife when you're masturbating?" That's what
And I thought
and
that
then
was
the
a
guy,
great
and then the
comeback.
guy
And the guy's like,
says,
I'm
"Yeah," and
not
the guy
married.
says, "Well, I'm not married."
I know. And I was like, and I was sitting there telling him, I was like, strike one was when you didn't know Fergie. Strike two is telling him that you're not married. Like, how can you relate to him? He's looking for somebody that is closely related to him, another married person that's got kids
Yes.
that can actually
Yes.
say he's experienced it to give him advice and therapy. And so far, this guy is not checking off the boxes for him. He is not checking off those boxes.
Yeah, I
Which,
mean, they seem like they're not connected. Well, John is
right,
not connecting with him. In all fairness, the therapist is trying to connect with John, right?
right.
Um, John is just very closed off. He really is. So the therapist is trying his best, and then look at this view. Can you believe this view?
That view
Oh.
is phenomenal. Can you imagine working and that was your view personally? I mean, I thought of you. I was like, imagine her office was looking out at this every
I
day.
wish. I
I know.
wish.
Amazing.
Well, then my practice would be so full, and I would be working like 24 hours a day because everybody would want to see me to look at that view.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's some view. Wow.
it is.
Anyway, so you could see the disconnect. I mean, John's not looking at him. John's looking away. The guy is like, "Come on, what are you here for? Let's talk." And he's not saying anything at all. So he goes home, and Fiona's like, "Okay, I have to go to work." And she tells him that the kid is burning up. She was holding their son. Let me see. I think I have, yeah, this picture. And
He's
the
holding
kid
his
is,
son, right?
no,
He she comes home, right? And he tells her that he's been crying like that for an hour, right? Or something like
yes,
that.
yes. And then she says, "Oh, he's got a fever." She felt his head. And she
Mhm.
said to John, "I need you to go to the store and get him something, like some kind of medication to bring his fever down or make him feel better." So John's not too happy about that for some reason. He looks really annoyed. He just got home and he
He
doesn't want
wanted
to be
to go
bothered.
Yeah, he wanted to go for a run. He's like, "I'm gonna go for a run." She's like, "You need to
Yes.
go get cough
Yes.
medicine for him. And you need to, and by the way, can you stop and get this?" She like throws a couple like something else onto the list. And he looks so, you're right, he looks so annoyed. He was annoyed when she came in and like he's trying to like hold the son and the son's all, crying and he's like, it's been like this for an hour. Like you're holding the kid, you didn't touch his forehead. He's been crying like that for an
I
hour. You don't
know.
think to check his fever. Just seeing that
Yes.
disconnect, I was like, that just like further like confirmed like he is resenting every moment that he is staying home, even though he is doing a very gratifying job. If he looked at it from a different perspective, he needs a mind shift.
Yeah, and he's not focusing. He's not mindful of what's going on around him. To
No,
not know that his kid was sick, for
yeah.
instance.
And then look at the picture that you have up. Look how angry he is driving away because
Yes.
he couldn't run. His facial expressions are a chef's kiss. They are really,
Yes.
really amazing acting, but you can really legit see the anger and resentment. And he just has detest for her asking, like, can she even ask me for one more thing? Like he is just so angry
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
And he kind of just sucked it up. He's like, fine, I guess I'll just go for a run later. Like he just let her command what was gonna happen and kind of start to put things in order in the house that he's been running all day. She comes in and in 2 minutes, she's like, oh, do this, do this, do that. And just that taking charge, he's just like so fuming right now because nothing would go right for him in his day. And here she
Yes.
comes walking in. And there's a scene where, like, as she's walking in, she stops before she walks in because she can hear her son crying. And she,
Mm.
like, does this sigh like, do I really want to go in there? Maybe I should have driven around the block once or twice more. So you see their dynamic. They're definitely having some issues and they're definitely not in alignment at all.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Um, he, but we don't know what else he'd want to do, right? Is he saying, is he looking for a job? Does he want to look for a job? Does he talk to her about it? No.
No,
So what is it that he wants? He
yeah,
wants to
that's
just run. That's it.
exactly. He wants to be Forrest Gump.
That's it. So then he goes to this little mart in a gas station, and he's inside and he's looking to get some cold medicine for the kid. And this guy comes in and he's making a scene. This guy wants to buy beer, and the lady behind the counter is like, "No, I can't sell you beer. You're not old enough." And he's making a scene. So John is just like looking around, and sorry, one second. And what happened here? One second. Oh, here we go. Okay. And he sees this poster of this woman that was murdered. That's the one that we saw on the church, that banner, the tour, right?
Right.
What did it say? Malky something tour? What was that?
Oh,
What did it say? Something strange.
it did. Let's see if I can go back and find it. It said, oh, where are you? I just had it. Um, yeah, Malky, A apostrophe S, Malky's Murder Tours. Um, and then it's the woman's name is Susie Barnett.
Uh-huh. That's the
So
one who was killed?
the Susie Barnett's the one that's been killed for what, 20, 25 years, you said?
Yes, 25 years. No, Susie Bissett.
Oh, is it
Bissett.
Barnett? Oh, mine's blurry. It looks like Barnett for me. Although you
It's
have a
it,
better screen. Yep.
it's Bissett.
Okay.
Bisset, right? Okay. So, let's see. Okay, so John is he's pretending not to hear what's going on, the argument, and then he says something to the guy, and the guy looks at him. And then the woman behind the counter is like, why don't you get out of here? Stop causing problems. She knows this kid.
Right.
And then the kid goes up to him. He's like, are you talking to me? Like Taxi Driver. Are you talking
Yeah,
to
you
me?
talking to me?
You got a problem with me, Pop? He said. And John, I mean, this is all John needs, right? With all his problems with people, men confronting him, right?
Right.
And John's like, he's like, no, I leave me alone. I don't want any part of this, right?
Right.
Let's see. Let me get the other ones. So this guy comes even closer to John.
And that's Angus, right?
That's Angus. Yes, like the Angus steaks.
Like Angus beef. Yeah.
And he's in his face. Okay. He is in his face. And John freaks out. And the guy's like, if you don't I'm going to buy beer. And if you're telling me I can't buy beer, then you can't buy cough medicine for your kid. And he actually stops John from buying the cough medicine. John runs the hell out of there. And
Yeah.
again, you're like, what, John? Come on, what are you doing? Right?
Well, that's what I said. I'm like, your kid needs medicine. Where are you going to go get the medicine from now? I'm like, why would you let
Right.
this guy just push you around? And the way he like intimidated him, because he knocks the medicine over, I believe, and John has to pick it up, and he picks it up and puts it back on the shelf and leaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Instead of buying it, instead of saying, look,
right.
I need this for my kid, which kind of surprised me, that he did that. But again, John is so afraid of anyone confronting him. He has real issues with this,
Yes.
and he can't handle it. So he'd rather just go away than confront anybody. So unfortunately, I'm looking. I don't think I have those actual pictures of him in the car. I don't see it here right now. So basically, John goes to the car, and the guy follows him, and he's banging on the window for John to come out and fight with him. And John like takes off in the car. John's like scared shit. He takes off. He actually calls him a prig. You're a prig, and he just takes off. And so John felt pretty emasculated, actually. That's his thing. He feels that emasculated by everybody. That's the problem,
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what else we got going on here. Hold on one second. Why don't you read the chat, Jen, while I look for the other photos?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let me kind of go back a little bit, see what we've been missing. All right. Talking about the therapy, right? Dieter said I was skeptical before I went to therapy, but it really helps. I agree, Dieter. It really, really does. And there was this kind of stigma, this kind of bad rap that therapists have for decades, especially in this country. And I know that especially with the whole mental health awareness and just everybody kind of talking about it, especially after COVID, therapists have taken on a whole new persona and this whole new experience that a lot of people share. And you actually don't hear this bad stigma anymore about therapy. Everybody actually talks about how much therapy helps. But it also helps if you do the work, right? And making sure that you're able to speak and express yourself, and realizing that that's the one safe space that you can actually say what you want to and need to say, and maybe a space to practice saying the things that you need to say in the outside world outside of therapy. So I do agree that it definitely helps. And John definitely is not taking advantage of it the way he should. And I know it's the first time he's meeting that therapist, but it definitely felt like he was kind of going through the motions, right? Beehive Girl says, well, a first therapy session is always vulnerable. I have never revealed a lot in that first session. And I do agree. I understand why you want to, you're kind of, when you go to therapy, I think it's hard to find a therapist here because there's no interview process, there's no getting to know you process. It's kind of, you look somebody up, you read some reviews about them, read what they have in their bio, and you kind of make an assumption or a decision based on other people's reactions and reviews off of the therapist and pretty much what that therapist tells you. And in this world, we're so wanting to believe what people say, but when we're confronted with that truth and the realization that we really don't know somebody, we just know what we read about them, definitely gives us that vulnerability. So I see why he's so apprehensive, but I mean, the one thing he chose to share was Fergie. That part was just hilarious to me. Let's see.
Yeah.
Dieter, you have a view like that. I think that is absolutely breathtaking and beautiful. And every now and again in the Discord, Dieter puts up pictures absolutely beautiful over in Belgium. Let's see what else we got. Um, it's odd to me, Beehive Girl says that it's odd to me that a stay-at-home parent cannot have an internal thermometer for the kid's fever. Even just holding your kid, you can tell if they have a fever. I agree, and that's I think the point that I was saying before. I think that even emasculates him more, makes him think that he's not a good father, and we see that interaction with him and his wife a little bit later on in the scene. He doesn't feel that he's a good dad. Um, and not for nothing, like Beehive said, being able holding your kid for an hour, hearing him cry, and you couldn't tell that they had a fever. I mean, I'm not trying to confirm his beliefs, but yeah, you're not a great dad if you didn't know 101. Just feel a kid. You feel somebody, and you can tell that they're warm. So that was definitely odd. I do agree. Um, says, I just said it's 5. That is funny. I did not even catch that, Kelly. I did not even catch that he picked up medicine that was for 6 plus and the child is only 5. Let's see. Um, Mike Wu says, first John is confronted by Tommy with a rat and then having to deal with that dead deer. Oh, yes, we haven't gotten to that yet. But yes, the dead deer. That whole scene was another setup, in my opinion, with Tommy. I know we haven't gotten to there yet in the slides, but that whole taking him out into the woods thing, the way he presented the gun to him was very intimidating. And then it was very it was very contradictory. You can't sit there and say you don't put a gun in somebody's face, never put a gun in somebody's face, and you completely like
Well, he
cock a
was,
whole rifle right in the dude's face, and you're looking at him just to see if he flinches. That to
yeah,
me was like a whole standoff. And I think the fact that he didn't flinch, he kind of just stared at him. In my opinion, he was like a deer stuck in headlights.
I was
I'm like,
just
you're
going to say
resembling
that.
exactly what you're about to see.
You read my mind. I was just going to say that. He was a
Yes,
deer in headlights.
yes,
Yes, yes.
absolutely. So let me see if I can go back a little bit in the chat. We were talking about the travels. I think that's what we got in the chat. The medicine says good catch. Yeah, Kelly, that was a really good catch. I didn't even catch that either. That the medicine was not even like, did he not even realize that his child is only 5? Because he was reading the box pretty intently before he freaking wanted to buy it. Like, what were you? Were you just holding the box, looking like you were reading it, and in your mind you were like, "God, I hate my life and my family. Oh my God!" Like, what was going through your mind when you read it say 6 and older, but your child is 5?
Right.
That's a really good catch, Kelly. Thank you, chat. You guys are always awesome. You always catch things that we don't see.
And how is everybody liking the first 2 episodes, by the way? In the chat on a scale, well, let's see, let's rate them. On a scale of what, was it 1 to 10, or how should we rate them?
Yeah, we can do a 1 to 5, 1 to 10. I mean,
Okay, so season episode 1, how would you guys rate episode 1? Let's see what they say. We can also rate episode 2. Just say which one or two, and what you think.
Right. For me, I really enjoyed episode 1. It kept me hooked. I would say that I would put it at probably like a 7.
Mm-hmm.
A 7, 7.5. It definitely had that build up that we were looking for. I mean, it's definitely not like the quickest paced show, but it's not slow paced. I actually liked the way it was going, and it kind of gave us that character build up and started building the suspense that we needed between
Yes.
Tommy and also the vicar wife with John and his wife. So I really liked that build up and really seeing kind of, like I said, their facial expressions are just amazing acting. You really can see so much more being said in those scenes with their facial expressions than than the words that are actually coming out of their mouth. It just describes so much more, almost like reading a book. Like you get a lot of those details from their facial expressions, kind of can see the trauma that he's going through. So for me, that really kind of gave that notch up on the episode and where it was going. And then you had the end scene and then how it rolled into episode. So
Yes.
far, I would go a 7.5 to an 8 would be where I went from like episode 1 to episode 2. So I thought it was done well. I like the way it was shot. I thought that they kind of really did a good job. I mean, not maybe the best director in the world and producers, but I really, really like the angles that they're getting in. They're really, really showing those facial, emotional connections that are being tied to the scene and what's actually going on. And they really do speak two different stories. You kind of
Yeah.
see what's going on, but you see this whole other layer that kind of built and put John where he is. And exactly like maybe why he's clinging and starting to shift a little bit over to Tommy. I mean, for somebody that was an atheist and didn't want anything, by the end, like halfway through this episode, he's praying with Tommy, right? When they actually go to the dinner with the vicar, and the wife, they actually have a really good time. And I
Yes.
think both John and his wife, they're like truly shocked by how and amazed by how well of a time they actually had there and how much they actually really liked, who they were hanging out with. I mean,
Yeah.
the wife is never really going to care for Tommy, but she really liked the vicar's wife. I mean, they opened
She
up the
did.
jacuzzi, they sat in there, they were having a good time, like they were pals that haven't seen each other in 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and she was all about it. And then the fact, did you not find it odd that the vicar was like, "Oh, I'm an atheist. I don't even
Yes.
believe in that." I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
And that was the tip off. It's like, what is that about? Right.
And even I know you're looking for the pictures, but even when they go over to the house, John sees that they're having, I mean, Tommy had invited him over, right? He does like these
Yeah.
Bible meetings prior to dinner. He was doing one. So John walks over and he sees, what's kind of going on in that room. And he realizes they're reading books from serial killers. They're reading books about Jeffrey Dahmer and they're talking about serial killers. And even John's like, what kind of a Bible study group is this if we're studying serial killers? And I think, as odd as that might be, that definitely triggered and intrigued John. I think that's the point where he's like, listen, not everything's as it seems. And
Yes.
I'm okay with this hidden undercover something because I have my own hidden undercover something. Granted, he has no idea what he's getting involved with Tommy. But yeah, I think that the show, I like the direction the show is going in so far. I think they've given us enough in season 1. In episode 1 and 2 to keep me wanting to see season 3. I mean, I'm not like on the edge of my seat going, damn it, it's only Thursday. Why can't it be whatever day they're streaming on? But I definitely want to see what happens next. And that's always a good sign in the show because hopefully it can only get better and they'll be able to stick the landing on, the landing, and kind of really get through and really show these dynamic arcs of character and where this trauma has come from and where they're going. I mean, there's a lot of symbolism with somebody running up a hill or just running, and that perspective of somebody running can actually change. Like you could be fleeing for something or you could be running to help something or be running to achieve a goal. And I definitely think I'd like to see where this running and how the symbolism, how it's going to arc through, and show either his downfall or his progression.
Right. Yeah. And it's interesting because we're going to get to see the dynamic between John and Tommy. Exactly what you said, that there's something lurking under the surface with Tommy, and John is very attracted to it. And Tommy is attracted to John's goodness.
Yes. There's this innocence that John has, and you can see it in his face, like that, dare I say, this innocence of the fear that he has, and the
Yes,
innocence of the curiosity he has behind why some things are the way they are, and accepting that two things can be true at once.
yes,
And I think that he has a problem accepting that within himself, but he is highly intrigued and attracted to things that are that same way. And I think it's only because he wants to be himself and he can't.
right.
And if, I mean, I haven't seen the show, but if he turns out to be like some serial killer deep down in the making, I'm going to be like, whoo, mind blown. That dude is going to snap. At first, I thought might be like, the amount of trauma that he has in his response, and the
Yeah.
way, if he would have been like pushed and pressed upon, I'm like, oh, he's going to snap, like have a split personality, like a weaker personality, and then a stronger one's going to come out. And kind of, we've seen that dynamic in other shows. That's definitely kind of where I was thinking it in the first half of episode 1, and then it definitely changed. And what changed was Tommy coming in. I was like, oh, this could have gone very badly for him, but I think Tommy's going to wind up awakening something inside of him and
Hmm.
letting him feel like it's okay to be this way. And he's going to have his own kind of self-reflection and figure out what path he wants to go down in life, where he's going to run to next.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's interesting. And of course, John was not religious. He didn't believe in religion. And somehow Tommy is leading him towards it as well, which is kind of interesting because especially as the show goes on, we see that there is a transformation in John. He changes. And Tommy changes too, for that matter. They both do.
Right.
It's
And
it's
I think Tommy's looking for absolution.
he is absolutely. He doesn't want to be the way he is. He doesn't. And
No,
you
I
can
think,
see that. You could see
yeah.
that. That's why he wants to go to church and he talks to God. He asks God to help him, you know?
Mhm.
He doesn't want to be this way. So he feels that by being close to John, somehow it redeems him.
Right. Right. Exactly. That
Okay.
little bit of innocence, if he can hang on to it for a little bit, it'll rub off on him, kind of a thing.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so I'm almost ready with this images. Um, hold on one second, one more minute. Anything else in the chat? Oh, how do people respond to the show?
We haven't got episode 1 a 7 from Kelly. Episode 2 is 7.5. All right.
Okay.
I find the show to be even paced so far. I would give it an 8. Some moments are great and funny. I agree, Mike Wu, definitely. And I'm right in between both of them. I'm like 7.5 for episode 1, going up to an 8. So I'm kind of right there with you guys. Beehive Girl, I've only seen episode 1. I would give it a 7 to an 8. And Beehive, I know that we're in contact. So I'm gonna hook you up so that we can watch episode 2. So that you can give us more rundown the next time we're on live. Yeah, I think everybody is kind of really, really enjoying it. And Mike Wu, like you said, it's definitely at an even pace, and I definitely have to agree with that. And a lot of the shows that we've watched more recently, I think we're used to like this more quicker paced action. I know we were talking about like His and Hers is definitely a little bit more quicker paced, but I do like the pace that it's going at. I agree with Mike that it's the even pace is going. It's a little slower than some of the other shows that we've seen, but I do like the pacing that it's going at, and I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It gives you time because it is very psychologically based, this show. You know, a
Yes.
lot of people they don't realize that while they're watching it, but it is. Because the slower pacing magnifies the psychological connection that they have for each other. You
Yes.
know, and that's what's evident here. Um,
I also think you need to process. I think a lot of these fears, whether we act them or not, these are all thoughts that actually run through our mind too. A lot of
yes,
the
yes,
issues that they've talked about, I think there are a lot of things that people think about or face and deal with, whether it's for a long period of term, a long-term period in their life, or it's a shorter period in their life. But I definitely think a lot of things that we're seeing, people have experienced, whether it's firsthand or secondhand. I think it's very realistic, and I think that authenticity really keeps viewers like me wanting more.
yes, yes. I agree. definitely. Okay. I think the first episode, I would give it like a 7.5, I think. And the second episode, I would give, maybe 7.5 or an 8. Maybe an 8, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am. 7.5 and
Mm-hmm.
an 8.
Mm-hmm. No, I really liked it. I think it has a lot going for it. Okay, let me pull these up now. Sorry for the delay here. Okay.
You're welcome, Beehive. Anytime, beautiful. Oh, and Derek, where is it? Delightful Dieter says that he will be streaming episode 3 in the Discord on Saturday. Just as an
Great.
FYI to everybody viewing, we'll be showing episode 3 on Saturdays. Saturdays are nights for streaming in the Discord, and we can stream it. Dieter and I both can stream. So if that the time doesn't work for somebody, like I reached out to Beehive, we can always reach out again and stream it. Dieter and I can definitely work it out and help you guys out watching the show because we really enjoy it and we want you to be more engaged in the chat. So definitely talk about it with us.
Great. Very good. Okay. Yes, Dieter, I really appreciate you helping out. You know, it's a lot when you're trying to juggle a lot of different things, you know. It gets to be a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so now they're having dinner with the Vickers, and here is Rebecca. This is Tommy's wife, and she invites them in, and they bring their kids with them also, which is kind of strange, but I guess they don't have a babysitter.
Right.
And here is Tommy having a Bible meeting with his friends, and they're talking about, I don't know if you could see it there, Jeffrey Dahmer. There's a book on Jeffrey Dahmer there at the table.
Yeah.
And then this one is Life and Crimes of Fred West. Who is Fred West? I have no idea who Fred West is.
I will tell you right now. Fred West. English serial killer and child bad thing who committed at least 12 murders.
Wow.
Right? At least 12 murders between 1967 and 1987 in Gloucestershire, England. The majority with his second wife, Rose West. So I guess his wife, Rose West, also helped in these serial unalivings of people. At least 12 people.
Wow.
So again, like I said, this was a whole like serial killer meeting disguised as a Bible study, which I thought was wild.
Yeah, and John, like you said, I think he was intrigued by it, actually.
Yes.
It makes sense. It makes sense because, you know, now we're going to see that John is peering in the door there, and he hears what they're talking about, and he's like, what is this? What's going on here?
I like that the sign next to him said "Challenge Houdini" because I was like, "Oh, that's what he does." He has this disappearing act of, you know, like let me go run and hide and disappear. I mean, I moved into a whole different country, so I thought that was a little ironic. But then I also thought, well, if you're a serial killer, right, you have these unalived bodies, you have to kind of Houdini them somewhere, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I really like the double connection that it had. And it's right in the doorway where you see John on one side, and then you have this whole other group, more specifically Tommy on the other side. I really thought that was a really good like middle section to have, and how it kind of drew your attention to how it applied to both of them in very different senses, but still a Houdini act.
Yeah, disappearing act. Absolutely. Yes. Make it disappear. Make it all disappear.
Just poof, be gone.
Poof, be gone. Exactly. Now, okay, so John is watching them, and he's sitting there and he's hanging out with them. You know, Tommy introduces him to his friends, and basically somebody shows up there that shocks John. Let me see where that picture is. 1 second. I don't know where I put it. I don't know if I have it. Okay, so John's therapist comes out of the bathroom. John's like shocked.
Yeah.
He's looking at him and he says, "You're here." And the therapist acts like he doesn't know him, which is good because that's what you're
Right.
supposed to do. If you ever see a client somewhere, you act like you don't know them.
Right.
So the therapist acted like he didn't know John, but John was shocked. And then you're
Right.
thinking, is John actually going to go back and see this therapist?
I,
you know?
I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, this he's never gonna see him again. But then
Yeah.
after watching the rest of this dinner visit, I was like, oh, he's definitely gonna go back there and watch him feel more comfortable now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe,
So,
maybe they'll really start telling him what he's thinking since he knows he's, studying about serial killers and like all this other stuff. Like he obviously knows that he's got like darker undertones and has more to than this more to the therapist than what it looks like. So
yeah.
I'm hoping that the next time we see them come around together, we get a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So then they all leave. The guys leave, and John is staying behind with his wife and Tommy and Tommy's wife, and they're just hanging out. They're having a drink of wine, and they're talking. And then John brings up this flyer from the serial killer, from the woman that passed away. And John was asking them about it. And they said, oh, that was 25 years ago. And, they were giving them a little bit of a background about what happened. And then they go home, right? And then their son came in, Cameron. So we meet Cameron. And basically, John and Fiona go home. And they're in bed. And John says he likes Tommy. And Fiona says he makes my skin crawl. She does not like him. Oh, I did miss a scene here. But let's back up. Before they go home, Tommy says to John, so I understand you're seeing a therapist. You're seeing this person. And John says, how do you know that? What do you mean? And he said, oh, he told us that he got a new patient. So you're the only new person that's moved into the area. So I figured it's you. You mean, that's a huge brief of confidentiality right there.
Right.
So what is John going to say? So he said to John, why are you here? Why did you come to Scotland? And then John ends up telling Tommy what he couldn't tell the therapist, what he could never tell anybody. He told him about what happened in London with that woman. Yep. Which is interesting that he felt that comfortable with Tommy to tell him.
I thought the same thing.
And I'm thinking, why? You know this guy is weird, right? He's talking about serial killers. He's into the Bible. He picks up a dead rat. I mean, there's a lot of red flags here, right?
Oh, yes, a lot.
But yet John opens up and tells him about what happened in London. And Tommy's very compassionate towards him. John, I understand you're a good guy. You didn't, it's okay. You didn't know what to do. It's okay. Why don't we pray on it? So he has John kneel down with him and they actually pray together. And, and for John, I think that was a great moment for him because I don't think it's something he's ever done. And having Tommy there as support to him while they're praying, I think transformed John in some way. And then John felt better. After he told Tommy the truth, he felt better. So then they go home, and he's in bed with Fiona. And Fiona said, Tommy is creepy. And John said that he likes Tommy. And then she says, well, I like Rebecca, that's his wife, but I don't like Tommy. So then anyway, she starts telling John about her insecurities, about her job, that she doesn't know if they're going to be able to cut it here with her book. And she's just telling him all these things. And then, ironically, John wants to have sex with her.
Right.
He desired her when she expressed her weakness, her insecurity. That turned him on.
Yep.
And it shows you how emasculated he feels in the marriage. And
exactly.
he can only get it on with her when he felt powerful. So that was an interesting scene. But then they're interrupted by some noise outside. So he goes out to check it out, and he just sees it's his kid doing something. So he decides he's going to go for a run again, because that's what he does when he gets stressed out. So he goes for a run. Let me get that picture up.
He was so close to both of them were so close to actually doing it. And then
Yeah.
that noise. I honestly, when I heard the noise, I was so happy that it was his son in the kitchen doing whatever or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought it was going to be Tommy or Tommy's son. In the dinner scene, remember we saw Tommy's son came in and then he was like kind of weird.
Yes.
Um, and we find out that he's also Angus's friend,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I was like, oh no, I was like, I thought it was Tommy or Tommy's son. And
Right.
I'm also assuming a little bit that Tommy's son is like his father, and just weird and creepy. So that's what I was thinking. And then when it was just, I was like, okay, good. It wasn't somebody, really setting some sabotage, some fuckery around. So
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. So John's going out for a run. Okay. And he goes out for a run, like, what is it, like 2 a.m. or something like that? Who goes for a run in the park at 2 a.m? I mean, that's all I was thinking while I was watching this. I said, what is he doing? 2 a.m, you're running in the park. And who does he see? Angus again. Is this guy following John? Do you think he was following John? Oh, Jen.
hey, I'm here. Okay.
Oh, sorry about that. But
It's okay. I got bumped off the live.
it's okay. I'm sorry about that.
But
I hear I'm talking to you and I'm asking you,
no,
and you're not there.
it's all
Yeah.
right. I was answering you completely because I could still
Oh,
hear you, and then I realized
okay.
that you didn't hear me.
Oh,
No worries.
so what do you think? Do you think he was following him?
So, that was my next question. I was actually going to ask you the same thing. Do you think he followed him, or do you think? I think he knew he was there. I do. I do think
Yeah.
he knew he was there. Whether it was because of Tommy's son, or he kind of saw the car and figured it out. Like I said, it's a small town, and obviously, clearly, this guy is like a local because the woman that was at the grocery store knows him, and we
Yes.
realized that she like works at various places in the spot. So I'm like, they know what house just got rented or purchased. There, it's a small town. He definitely probably went around and saw the car, saw that his
Yes.
friends
Yes.
has a neighbor there. So I definitely think he went there looking for trouble or like just to spy and see what was going on.
Exactly. I agree 100%. This was not a coincidence. He
No.
followed John. Absolutely.
Yep.
And again, John is very innocent, right? He doesn't think that this could happen to him. So
Right.
this guy is taunting him and he starts attacking him. So John defends himself. Finally, John defends himself. He grabs a rock and he beats this guy to a pulp. I mean, look at
Yep.
him. And John was, it was self-defense. He had no choice. But I'm
What
glad to
does
see
John do right after? What does John do right after?
he runs away. He's crying and he runs away.
He runs away. Run, Rick, run.
Run, Rick,
Yeah.
run. Exactly.
He runs away. And it almost feels like when a child does something wrong and they know they're about to be punished and they want to run
Yes.
and hide or cover it up.
Yes.
Almost like he didn't know how to cover up a body, and he ran. I wasn't surprised that he ran, but the way they showed it happening suddenly clicked. That's very childlike. That is something I would see a student or a child do. That's usually not, or somebody that's totally afraid. I mean, obviously adults would do the same thing. Many people would do that, but the way he expressed it seemed very childlike, in my opinion. Like he was shocked and completely confused. And I know that he's not a child, but the way I saw it, it felt like something inside him made him regress to looking at it like he was a child.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, it was also very traumatic too. I mean, because we know he has a history of trauma. Something had happened to him many years ago before the thing in London. Something's been happening to him.
Right.
And that's why in London, when he was in the playground, he froze. He froze because it was a trauma response.
Right.
Okay, so that's what's happening to him now. He ran because he's having a trauma response. He ran, he was crying, he can't deal with this.
No.
And again, I really, I mean, I don't want to talk about it now, but we'll talk about it as the show goes on. Um, there definitely is a lot going on there that we don't know about. So, okay, so basically, John runs home,
Right.
and who's there waiting for him?
Exactly what
And
I
I
thought this
thought
was a
that
setup.
was weird too.
Right? Why
Who's
is
he
he awake
waiting?
and outside?
Yes,
Why is he awake and outside?
yes. Why is he there? So now I'm wondering, was it planned?
That's what I was thinking. That's why I thought
Wait
this
one
was a
second.
setup. I thought it was a setup from the very beginning.
You know,
Absolutely.
I didn't think about that until we talked about it now.
I'm so
Wow.
glad we did. And just to throw in my little Stranger Things connection, although there is absolutely no
Yeah,
connection. The
yeah.
fact that he picked up a rock and beat him, I was like, oh, it's just like Henry in the cave. He's beating the Russian scientist with the rock. And
Yes,
the way he looked down
yes.
at the rock was very much like they showed it in the Stranger Things episode. So I was like,
Wow,
oh, here we go again with another person being beaten to death with a rock. So
wow.
I just saw that. I know that there's absolutely no connection between the two, but I did think it was ironic that I've just seen two shows back to back that had that
Yeah.
similarity. And
No, you're
the visceral reaction that both Henry, the actor, and then John had, that Andrew Lincoln did such a beautiful job of, the horror and I can't believe I just did this, what just happened,
right.
fear on his face. I mean, just an amazing job. But yeah, I thought of Henry. I think that's probably why I thought it was so childlike. I automatically thought Henry Krill.
Yes, yes, yes. No, I get that. I could see that. Yes. So do you think Tommy planned this? I
I
don't know.
do. I think that if he is the psychopath, I think that he is. I think that planning this maniacal, twisted way of kind of grooming somebody because of whatever personal or emotional gain that he's going to get, that he just wants that, like, kind of to absorb his goodness, even though it will just absorb into black nothingness because that's his, he's just psychotic. But I
Yeah.
definitely think that Tommy is like, saw, like almost like in jail, like, ooh, fresh fish, like, new guy, like, I'm gonna see what that I'm gonna see. And I think from even the moment of the rat, seeing his reaction, and then kind of knowing things. I mean, and this is taking place now. I mean, he kind of, probably, the wife is famous, right? John's wife
Yeah.
is famous, writing a book, people know about her. So to Google and research him and, her, and then his name pop up and then see those headlines, I don't think that. And even when he told Tommy what had happened, there wasn't this shock on Tommy's face. It was more
No.
like planned emotions to kind of trigger and, like, like hook, line, and sinker and wheel him in. So I think all of this has just been part of Tommy's game to see what kind of a man he is, how he can kind of see what happens. I think he knows about him more than he's letting on. And he
Yes.
kind of just wants to see what, how, why could I be like that? Because I think Tommy in that situation would have ripped that guy's head off in the
Yeah.
playground.
Oh
So
yeah.
so seeing how he is and that he has kids and seeing everything, I think that this is like a case study for him.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Well, he's fascinated about reading those books, right?
Yes, and he
He
kind of really
wants
just
to
wants to know that psychological
yes.
perspective.
He wants to know how they think, how their
Yes,
brains
how
think.
their brains think. He wants
Yes.
that metacognition. Yep.
Yep, exactly. So he wants to see an experiment with John. That's what it is. It's an experiment.
Exactly. And if he can start predicting the patterns, he kind of feels like he's won over how to be
Yeah.
that way and think that way. So being around
Yes.
him, and you kind of see that in episode 2, he kind of just sits back, and we're going to get to that in episode 2, when he sits back and watches him at the bar, and he just watches him. He's not watching him out of like envy or like, I'm so happy he's having this release. He's watching him like an observer, like he's taking notes, like he's seeing how he reacts and how he could mimic or manipulate himself to be that way. I
Right.
felt that's exactly what he was doing. I'm like, he's just shy of recording him so that he can play it back a million times and watch it.
Yeah, I could see that. So Tommy sits him down and he's like, "Okay, John, what happened? Tell me what happened." And he tells him that he was running in the park and he ran into Angus Angus attacked him and he had to defend himself, and he basically bashed him in with a rock.
Right.
And he said, I think I killed him. So
Right.
Tommy says, look, you don't know that. Okay. You don't know that. He says, well, I have to go to the police. And Tommy says, no, don't jump to conclusions. He said, there's three S's, right? He said,
Right.
shower, sleep, silence.
Silence. When he said silence, I was like, oh my God, that is like a serial killer's mantra. That is how they sleep at night. Like that, oh man. Like,
So John is like, what? And he goes, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of it for you. And John says, why? Why would you do this? He said, because you're a good man, John, and I want to help you. So go home. The three S's, go home. And so John does. John goes home. And of course, John can't sleep. He's laying in bed and he's I mean, who could blame him? Right.
right.
So
Oh,
Tommy goes and he finds Angus alive, beaten up pretty badly, but he's alive. And then Tommy strangles him. He kills him.
doesn't even blink an eye,
Nope.
doesn't bat a lash. And I just
Nope.
want to go to chat because we kind of missed something. So
Yeah.
I actually did catch that. So I'm going to go back to two different comments. So
Yeah.
Kelly says that the creepy son was looking out the window when he first came running home, right? And I
Yes.
know that he makes reference to that. So that's a good point. Good job, Kelly. Thank you for reminding us. And secondly, going back to what Beehive Girl said, which I think is a very good point. So she says, was it because that John felt powerful or that he didn't feel completely powerless? And I think what she's referring back to is the actual having Beehive, please correct me if I'm wrong. Are we going back to when he was actually trying to initiate sex with his wife and he actually went for it? I think that's what she's referring to, that comment. And I thought about it, but we were talking. So the fact that he actually wanted to engage and actually have sex after the dinner, I think that's a good reason that Beehive's bringing up. Was it because he actually felt powerful, or did he suddenly feel like he wasn't completely powerless? And I think that edge kind of cuts both ways in their situation, right?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, technically, he didn't feel powerless anymore. That's true. He
Right.
felt like he could take control in a sense. He didn't feel powerless. He's not a power hungry person. So maybe powerful is not the right word, but he felt at that moment he did have something over her, though,
Yes,
because
did.
he
Almost,
does feel so emasculated by her.
right. And I don't want to say control either, because it's not like he had control of it, but he definitely felt
Right.
like he had something over her for that moment.
Yes.
All because
And
she was vulnerable and like confided a weakness of hers, and he kind of took that as a win for himself.
yes, exactly. It made him feel more like a man, you know.
Yeah.
It made him feel like, okay, she's a woman, she's my woman, she's feeling vulnerable. I'm going to make her feel better. I'm going to, and then he became, aroused and he wanted to be with her. So yeah, I would say he didn't feel powerless. I think that's a better way of saying it. Definitely. Yep. Okay. Now, okay. So after he strangles Angus, he talks to God.
Yes.
And do you remember what he says? I don't remember it exactly. He said something like, God help me, or forgive me, or God forgive me, I think.
I think he says, God forgive me.
Yeah.
Which
God
I thought,
forgive
I'm
me.
like, he had no, out of all the times for him not to show any emotion, he strangled him without batting a lash, complete solid face. And then he looks up and he says this, God help me part. And I'm like, what? Like, God, you guys you're so weird, man. Can you make up your mind? Either like you're praying to him or you're praying down below. I don't know which, but you're definitely not doing godly things, dude. You just strangled somebody. And you're like, God help me. God help me what? Bury a body? That's not something you pray God for. Gosh.
Well, I think that he doesn't really want to be the way he is. Yes. And I think that by embracing religion and God, that he thinks that he'll be able to stop doing this. So he's asking God to forgive him, but we see in another episode, he's angry at God and he blames
Right.
God for what he's doing because God is not stopping him.
So, do you think that his anger is based on like the fact that he had the murder pamphlet in there? I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna tie that in. So, um, I mean, and the girl has like, do you think that that girl Susie Bissett has anything to do with Tommy at this point?
At this point, no, but we'll have to see how it plays out, right?
Okay. Yes.
Um, yeah. So I just think that Tommy, again, we don't know anything about him. We just know he killed this person. That's all we know at this point, right?
Right.
And we know that he brought him to his trailer. This guy Angus, he lived in a trailer. He took off his crucifix and then he burned the trailer down. And this is the way the episode ends. So
Right.
why did he take off the crucifix? Again, if he believes that God is his salvation, maybe he didn't think that Angus should have that crucifix, that Angus is a bad guy.
That is definitely a really good way to look at that symbolically, that he removed that from him. I was thinking a little bit more sinisterly. I was like, oh, he's gonna take that off so that he can make sure he's sending him to hell. I thought it was I thought it was definitely a little bit more cut and dry like that, but I definitely like that thought, like he was kind of taking away salvation. I also got the impression after watching episode 2, which I know we're gonna get into when they actually talk about his funeral. I got the impression from some of the conversation in episode 2 that Tommy really didn't like Angus and thought that he was not the best influence for his son. And
Right.
considering they were best, they were, I felt like that whole thing was a setup, and it was kind of like two birds, one stone for Tommy. I think
Mhm.
Tommy wanted to get rid of Angus, and this was just like a bonus. Like he was going to do this eventually at some point, so he just gets to do it now, kind of a thing. Is the impression I got after seeing him react with the way he did with the funeral and his son. So it could have been a trophy killing, like a trophy from a serial killer. It definitely could be symbolic with all the religious ties that we have in here so far. I definitely like where both of them are going. I definitely thought trophy, little Dexter on the mind, but I was like, oh, definitely a trophy thing. Sending him to hell is kind of where I was thinking symbolically. But I like that you put it way more eloquently, saying that he was like taking his salvation from him. That sounds so more thematic.
Well, it's almost like he felt Angus didn't deserve to wear it. Like he
Right.
saw Angus as being like an evil person.
And that would
So,
definitely tie into the whole "you're corrupting my son" thing. I got to get rid of
yes,
you.
yes, yes. Well, we learn that, we learn in the next episode that Tommy does not like Angus. He thought he was lower than low. He said he's scum, basically.
Yes.
So, and then we find out something about the crucifix in a later episode. But basically, I think Tommy, as B said, Beehive Girl, that he took the crucifix as a trophy, and he did, because killers do that. Serial killers, they actually take trophies of their victims. But why the crucifix? He could have taken anything from him, right? But
Yeah.
I think it ties into religion that he's trying to redeem himself. And he feels that this guy Angus did not, and he didn't deserve to wear it.
Right.
So he took it for himself. And by him having a crucifix, because maybe he doesn't have one, that's his way of also taking on religion more for himself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like he's taking, remember, like the conversation that he had with John about like seeing into his soul, like he's kind of taking a little
Yes.
piece of his soul with him, like including
Yes.
them.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I
Yes.
love that theory.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now, Kelly said that it was an upside down crucifix. Um,
Was it upside down or did we see it upside down? I have to look at again. I couldn't when I saw it, I was like, is it holding it upside down or is it upside down? And please let me know. I'm glad that you brought that up. Was that Beehive or Kelly that brought that up?
Kelly
Yeah,
brought that up.
Kelly. Yes. I wasn't sure, and I'd seen that, and I was like, wait, what?
That's interesting.
If it's an upside down cross, then it definitely fits that, he thought it was lower than low, couldn't stand him, and he took it off of him maybe to just get rid of it,
I
just
don't
something that
think
he's
it's a
against as a
well,
trophy.
the thing is, it comes up in a later episode. We actually see it, and it's not upside down when we see
Okay.
it. So
I
it
wasn't
may,
sure.
yeah, maybe just in that one scene, the way they filmed it, maybe it looked upside down the way he was holding,
Yes.
you know.
And that's why I thought that's another reason seeing it upside down. Now that you're kind of reminding me of it, I'm sorry. I'm kind of jumping ahead, looking at some of episode 2 images.
Right.
Um, it made me think of, yeah, like he's sending him to hell with it being upside down like that. The imagery
Yes.
that it showed. Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes. Right. So, yeah, it's a trophy for him. And it's also, and again, what is a trophy to a serial killer? It's they're taking part of their victim with them, right? It's a prize. It's like shooting a deer and you're putting the head on display in your living room, right?
absolutely.
It's a
Yep.
trophy. You killed this person, you're taking something from them. But I think when they pick something to take, there's a reason why they picked that specific thing. And he had a reason for taking that crucifix.
You are right. We don't know exactly what that is now, but that you're right on 100%. I agree with you. There's a
Mhm.
reason why he picked that of all things to take, especially because he took him back to his trailer. If
Yes,
there was like
yes,
he had access to all of his
everything,
belongings. So,
everything.
and that's what he chose. I think you just hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. That was specific with intent taken for a reason that we're hopefully will later get the answer to.
Right. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And hi, Kimberly. She's saying hello.
Hi,
How are you?
Kimberly.
Yeah, she said, I believe for serial killers, it can be a way to revisit the crime. Absolutely, Kimberly. 100%. They
Yep.
are reliving the crime, they're reliving their kill. Um, yes, they want to relive it. Definitely. Okay, so that is episode 1. So before we start episode 2, I just have to do something real quick. So if you don't mind taking over the chat, checking over the chat for a few minutes,
Absolutely
um,
not.
and I'll be right back. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So one of the things that I actually thought was very symbolic is the actual scene that you have up here. What did your guys think in the chat about the way it shows him in the center and the two holes above it and just that whole imagery of the way it's on fire? There's two doors on either side. I was looking at that and staring at that image. And I just thought, I'm like, it kind of shows the choice that he has, right? Like no matter what, he's been walking through hell and you have a choice to go through the door on the left and the door on the right. It kind of gave me that like what was it called? Heretic, when they had to pick the doors on either side. It gave me a little bit of the heretic vibes. It's like I'm thinking that this imagery would be like a foreshadowing of what he's going to have to eventually do, make a choice to go towards the left door or the right door. So I really kind of like this and showed a lot of balance, and the balance that it showed besides it, foreshadowing that imagery. The way I looked at the balance with the fire was kind of like this was his choice. And that kind of was confirmed with his facial reactions, the way he strangled Angus. Like he totally is at balance, is at this evenness of peace, even though it is hell that he's working through, that he's burning through. And that's why he's asking God for forgiveness. But he chose that death imagery of being burned, right? And it just showed like at this moment in time, there's a balance. But if you look at the frame, it's slightly tipping to one side. And I think that that little tip in his thought process, and if you're looking at it from that perspective, if that's showing an imagery of the way he's thinking, then it kind of showing that maybe John is that thing that's giving a little bit more weight on one side over the other. So maybe on the right, he's always used to walking through that side, that choice. Maybe on the left, the way it's tipping. I mean, I was looking, I looked at a lot of symbology and what things represent. So what do you guys think about the chat, the way the fire looks, the two doors, the way it's just slightly off balance, but it looks like it had balance, but it's the scales are kind of tipping to one side. I didn't know if the imagery was a foreshadowing of, let's say, the arc that Tommy's going to take, or at least the climax and the peak of where he's going to have to make a decision with himself, or maybe that decision of that door has to do with John. So I don't know, maybe I'm reading way too much into it. I was completely dissecting everything that I saw. I think I'm just so anxious for From to come back, honestly. I mean, I know we all are, right? So what do you guys think about that? No, no one in the chat? Well, thinking about, we haven't really mentioned it much, and I know we don't see it too much in episode two. What about how the kids actually react, and what do you think they're thinking? I mean, their whole world just got uprooted. They left from one town to another. They've left all of their friends. These kids are now, they've had this imagery. Violet's had this imagery of her father running away, coming back, being a coward, um, being just, kind of tossed at her mom while her dad just runs away like she's seen him do before. They're in this whole other place and country. I thought that was also something that I thought was interesting to see how the kids are actually going to react. I also thought was probably one of the reasons why the kids were so rambunctious and why they were kind of screaming and running all over the place. They kind of need an outlet, right? Their whole world has been turned upside down. They just moved from one country to another. It seemed like they anybody there yet, really. So let's just see what the chat is saying. Um, yes, thank you, Dieter. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Join the Discord. We'll drop the Discord link in a second. Hey, Samuel, how are you? Good evening. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. They got no respect for him. She called him out and useless. Yeah, I that's a good point, Sam. I almost forgot about that. The daughter of Violet called him old and useless, and he almost had like this little twitch, right? Like that stung. And he knew immediately that she did not come out with that on her own. She even said it, like, that's what mommy says about you. That definitely continues just to emasculate him, right? And make him feel like he actually has no power control, like he has no respect, like his life kind of, doesn't have this any meaning really, right? He doesn't obviously value raising his children. That's not a job that he actually takes pride in. He actually does it always under this annoyance of an attitude or constantly in a state of distraction or keeping himself so distracted that he can't even realize that his kid has a fever after he's been holding him. So you actually really see all these, these different pressures that are on him, that I'm sure he feels he had no choice in. He's just kind of been put and dealt this bad hand. And we see him constantly interacting with all these violent people. And then he meets Tommy, who here is willingly burning a body for him, and helping him cover up his crime and helping him in dealing with his issues, probably more than he feels his wife is, right? It's, his neighbor has come out of the blue. It's, I know, almost like meeting somebody new. I know this is not like an affair, but there's like this whole bromance going down between them, like not in a sexual way, but in a infatuation and a fascination, and it goes kind of both ways. Like Lori and I were saying before, like Lori was saying, Tommy really wants this goodness that John has, and John looks at it like it's just a weakness, right? And he actually craves this wild danger that Tommy obviously presents. And we're going to see that next episode, episode two, when they go into the woods and then they go out to a bar afterwards. We're going to see that whole interaction. And in my opinion, the too savvy of the two, I mean, John is completely vulnerable. He has no idea the lion's den that he has walked into. He is not seeing the wolf in sheep's clothing that I feel that Tommy's going to be. But, Tommy's like playing with his prey right now. And it might not even be prey. He kind of is just really observing and watching, just like, John's kids are watching him and observing him and continuing to act the way they do. There's a lot of, you know, I'm watching what you're doing and I'm reacting and learning from you that you see from a psychological point of view in this show. And that's one of the things I really kind of liked in this show, especially with the facial expressions and the way they're acting. You really get a read for all of that, almost like when you read a novel and you get all that background detail that they can't really say in a movie. In this series so far, between episode 1 and 2, I really feel like I can read certain things between the lines, quote unquote, and infer way better than in most shows and series. What do you guys think in the chat? the different facial expressions and just seeing how they, how Andrew Lincoln and Tommy really bring certain emotions across, and you can kind of see their little infatuation for how intensely they're observing each other and just so curious.
By the way, I'm back. I just
Oh my gosh, you should have said something. I'm over here
That's
rambling. I'm
okay.
waiting
No,
for
no, no,
something to
no,
pop up in the
no, no,
chat.
no.
I'm really refreshed.
I didn't want to interrupt you. No
Well, I
problem.
am done.
Unfortunately, guys, the images for episode 2, I'm not able to show them, unfortunately. So what I think we might do, and again, Jen, you tell me what you think about this. Maybe the next live we'll do episode 2 and 3 together.
All right,
How does
that's
that sound?
absolutely perfect. Yeah, we've been on for like almost 2.5 hours
I
off
mean,
of
we could
episode
we could
one. And
talk a little bit more about this episode and predictions for the future episodes, but yeah, I think we should just save it for next week because again, I don't have all the images available, so there's no point,
no problem. Absolutely.
Yeah. But guys, I hope you're enjoying the show as much as we are. I love seeing Andrew Lincoln. I just do. I miss him so much, and they do say The Walking Dead, he's going to come back next year. They're planning some kind of reunion show. Have you heard that, Jen?
I think I did hear mention of them talking about it on another channel, on the Walking Dead channel with The Walking Dead Explained, James,
Yes.
Scarlett, Dana Marie. I think they had mentioned something about that. I know that this
Yes.
year they celebrated the 15-year anniversary.
Yes. Yes. 15
Yes,
years. And
right.
Andrew Lincoln was interviewed, and he said that they are in talks about him coming back and playing Rick
Correct.
Grimes again.
Correct.
And what happened was Daryl Dixon was supposed to go on a few more seasons. He was supposed to go to Australia and a few other places. And AMC was like, we're not doing it. Then they pulled the plug on Daryl Dixon because
Oh,
I think they want the reunion show. Because, the producer, Scott Gimple, was just milking it for whatever he could get out of it. That and Dead City. He just wants them to go on, and people don't want that.
no, they want a definite ending.
They want to see Rick reunite with Daryl. They want to see Rick reunite with Morgan. They want to
Yeah.
see everybody reunite. They don't want to see Daryl going to Australia. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. So next year they're going to have a reunion show. Now, Dead City was finished filming season 3. And all of a sudden now they're saying, oh, they're filming again. What are they filming? Why did they start filming again? So I think they're going to bring Andrew Lincoln back into that. Because here's the thing that's really strange. Negan and Maggie are going to go to France. Why? I mean, Daryl went to France. We thought it was ridiculous, right? Now Negan and Maggie are going to go. I don't know.
And Carol, right? Daryl and Carol are still over there. The book of
they're in Spain. They're in Spain
now, right?
Yeah. They're in
But
Spain.
they don't know that they're in Spain. They just know that the boat washed up in France. So I wonder
I don't
if
even know.
going
I don't
after-
even know if Negan and Maggie know that. I mean, how would they know that?
I don't know. I hope they don't pull a Stranger Things where they say it just happened behind the scenes or off camera. But I have no idea.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
think you say France, and I'm like, oh, that's where Daryl washed up on. So that must be where he is.
Well, I think as far as people back home, well, Carol knew he was in France. Did she? Yeah, she found out.
She followed him. She went through like all the steps and followed where he went and wound up figuring out and got on a boat like he did.
Yes. But did she have a chance to tell somebody this before she left? I don't know.
Yeah, now that you say that, I don't think so. I guess that was my wishful thinking because I don't think she left with anybody. She was just like on a straight go mission.
She left behind Rick's kids, right? Judith and RJ.
And RJ.
These kids have been abandoned by everybody, right? I felt sorry for the kids. I'm thinking, how could Carol leave those kids now? I mean, first Rick left, then Michonne left, and Daryl left. And now Carol's leaving them too. I mean, it's crazy.
That is kind of crazy, you're right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't see why Maggie and Negan would end up in France. It makes no sense to me. But if that's the case, if they do go there and they end up meeting up with Daryl for some reason, maybe he makes his way back to France. I don't know. And then maybe Rick is there.
Yeah.
So
I I think they're on their way to London now that I think about it. Weren't they like going so they can get a boat to get to England?
They were going to England, and what happened was the boat capsized, and somehow they ended up in Spain.
Okay,
Uh,
that's what it was.
and then they were supposed to go back. They were building a new boat to go back at the end of the
And then
season.
it got burned, just like the
Yes,
fire screen on your on the computer.
exactly.
Yes.
So now they're stuck in Spain for another season. And then there were people saying, well, they may not ever make it back to the US. Maybe they're going to end the show with them in Spain, which would be kind of weird. But if they do that, then they can meet up with Maggie and Negan. They can all have a big party there in Europe. I don't know. It's kind of strange.
But it is
But
strange.
I do think though that I think would be a good way of bringing it back is if Rick was part of the CRM again, right? Because he was a CRM soldier.
Right?
So he would have access to their planes. He would have access to their boats. He could go to Europe to bring Daryl home. I could see that happening.
Oh, that would be amazing. That I
Yeah,
think that would make so many viewers. I don't
yeah,
know, but I think that would make viewers happy. I think
yes,
everybody wants Rick and Daryl to reunite.
yes, and I think that's what they're going to do because there's no other solution. How could they possibly come back to the United States from Spain? They
Exactly.
have to cross the English Channel. It's a very rough water. How are they going to get back? It's impossible. So if Rick has a plane, he could just bring them right back. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So,
That
but
would be
that's not going to be for another year or more. So So in the meantime, we have Coldwater.
yeah.
So
We have him here.
we have him here, and I'm enjoying it. And I really like the guy who plays Tommy. I think he's amazing.
I do too. I think he's doing a phenomenal job. Both of them are. Like I
Yes.
said, I just can't get over how much I can read into all the facial expressions that they're doing. To me, that's just amazing. It's just not dry
Mhm.
acting. They're
No.
really in it.
And that guy, Ewan Bremner, his facial expressions are, I mean, well, we see him get real angry. And then we see him with this angelic smile on his face too, it's
Psycho.
amazing. But
Psycho.
the acting is so
Acting is
amazing.
so good.
Yes.
Good.
I have to see what else he's been in, what other movies or shows. Is he Scottish, really? I wonder what his background is.
I'm not
I
sure.
have to look him up and see. But anyway, so guys, I hope you enjoyed our live stream tonight. Any more? We were rating the episodes before. Anybody else have any ideas on a scale of 1 to 10? What do you think? How would you rate the episodes?
And let us know any theories that you have. Where do you think this is going to go? I know we haven't done season or episode 2, even though we showed it, which will be great. So you won't miss anything. So we'll get you caught up so you can catch episode 2 and 3 on the next live. But where do you think this is going? How do you really feel about the characters? Do you guys think that, Tommy's as psychotic and manipulative and a mastermind like I think he is and setting all of this up? And I don't think it was like planned before he got it. I think he's setting, the plan is coming together as it goes because the way he's learning, he's kind of detailing things to kind of fit. But what do you guys think? 8 out of 5. Nice, Samuel. 8 out of 5, Samuel says.
Wow.
So far, that's pretty high. I think that's the highest rating we have, right? We've had 7, 7.5, 8.
Yes.
And now we
Yes.
have Samuel with an 8.5.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm really glad you guys are all enjoying this. I really am because
Yes.
I know I loved it. I was so happy when Lori suggested it.
Yes. So I'm just reading the chat. B, yes, they were going. They were going from England and they ended up in Spain, and they were building a boat to go back to the States. Carol didn't tell anybody. She just talked that dude into taking her into his itty bitty plane. Absolutely. That was ridiculous. I'm sorry. I have a lot of issues with those two shows, with Daryl Dixon and Dead City. I think they take liberties, like with Stranger Things, behind the scenes, off camera, things were happening, right?
Right.
How the hell did Carol find a guy who has a plane? And she's able to talk him into going to France. It was ridiculous.
I know that the coincidence was it was crazy. And then
Yeah.
how she had to manipulate and lie using his like, talking about her daughter. I thought
Yes.
that was kinda crazy, and I thought it was kinda karmatic that she kinda got punished by kinda having to see her daughter again in her dreams and kind of
Yes.
remember everything. I was like, that's what you get. You opened up this wound. You with your
Yes.
mouth opened up this wound, and now because you have to see
Yes.
this guy, this is your karma. That's what you get."
Yes. Absolutely. You're 100% right. She got it back. Uh, that poor guy. And then what about that kid in France? What's his name? Laurent. Laurent.
Laurent, right, what happened? I know he wanted to stay there, but I actually wanted to find out what was going on with him and what this whole, what was it, prophecy that they had? I wanted to see
Yes.
more about the prophecy, and,
Yes.
so that was interesting. It kinda reminded me a little bit of, dare I say, The Last of Us and how Ellie became, like, she can't be infected. It reminded me because Laurent was born, right, the way he was
Yes.
born, it reminded me
Yes.
very much of a little bit of The Last of Us with
Oh,
way better
absolutely.
acting. Even though the writing might not have been that great on it, it was way better acting than The
Oh,
Last of
yes.
Us.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, so that storyline. So Laurent went back to, I guess, the Commonwealth. So
yeah,
that's where he would tell everybody that Daryl was in France, right? And that he was on his way to England to go
right,
back to the United States. So Rick knows that he was there. He doesn't know he's in Spain though.
right.
But listen, there are people that talk. I'm sure the CRM is overseas. They can't just be in the United States. So, yeah, that should be an interesting outcome.
Yeah, how they
Uh,
put that together. Oh, we got some stuff in the chat about this episode. Samuel says it seems like Tommy is trying to turn John into a follower. He seems like something of value in him. He sees something of value in him.
mm, yeah,
Yeah, I actually agree. I do think he's trying to turn him into a follower. And so that begs the question, right, Lori? We were talking before that um, Tommy sees this goodness in John. So if he's going to try to turn him into a follower, does he want to do like kind of absorb his goodness? Does he want to take that goodness away from him and kind of make him and mold him into something that's more sinister and evil? So what does Tommy really want to do with this goodness that's in John? Is he trying to destroy it? Is he trying to build him up? Like what is his actual intention? And I think that's where the intrigue is to see where Tommy's going to take this. At least it is for me.
me too. And I think Tommy is going to absorb him.
I think that that's what Tommy does. I think everything he touches
Yes.
I think that's one of his fears that he knows, just like, John has his own demons. He knows that anytime he sees certain things, he's always going to run, right? That's his first reaction. I think Tommy's thing is to anything that he sees that's good, how can he weasel his way into it and deceive you enough, kind of like the devil, and deceive you enough to try to rip away that innocence from you without you even knowing.
Yeah, but why is he ripping it away?
I think because he wishes he can actually become it, but he never will be able to. He just turns it bad.
Yes, but he wants to ingest it.
Yeah.
He wants
Yeah.
it inside of him. So if he makes John bad,
Right.
he'll be good. He'll be good.
Right. And the
Mhm.
more people like that he's able to consume, hopefully he'll get his fill and it'll actually turn
Yes.
outward and be good. Yes. I love
Yes.
that.
Yes.
That's a great
He's
thought, Larry.
feeding the hunger that he has to be good.
Yes. Oh, and
Mhm.
that's another good way to look at the imagery that we have on there. The way the fire is just
Yes.
obviously hungry and
Purifying.
burning. Yes.
Purifying.
It's
Yes.
purifying. That is perfect. Love that imagery. Love that. Oh, what else did Samuel say?
Yeah, his
Fiona said
character is fascinating.
it
Mhm.
is. Samuel says in the chat, Fiona said John got into fights when he was younger.
Mhm.
I did
Yeah,
see that.
yeah, she did, and she said in London he was also always getting into fights with men.
Right.
So this is something that's been plaguing John his whole life.
Yes.
Why are men? Why is he attracting aggressive men to him? Why? Now we don't know the reason. There could be a million reasons why, but there's something called the law of attraction, which I'm sure most of you have heard about, where we attract people to us at a level that we are relating back to them. So it's almost like a mirror image. So if John is very angry inside and he buries it because of his guilt and his shame, and he's burying the anger. He attracts angry men because he buries his own anger. So angry men see that John is passive and he won't fight back. So they'll bully him. John feels vulnerable and worthless, so he allows himself to be bullied. But if
Right.
John can get a hold of himself and feel better about himself, he can overtake the bullies. And that's the
Yeah.
whole point. That's the healing for John. In other words, it's like being hit over the head a million times before you realize what's going on, right? Getting involved with the same person all the time and ending the relationship all the time. It will keep hitting you in the face until you finally see it. That's the
Right.
law of attraction. You attract what you need to change. You attract what is going on inside of you subconsciously.
Yes.
So if
And Tim,
John can get closer to the way Tommy becomes good by getting close to John, John becomes bad by getting close to Tommy. And
right.
bad meaning for John being assertive, being tough, being able to take care of himself. For
Do
him,
you
that would be bad.
exactly? Do you think he would go to the extreme where he'd be able to actually kill somebody?
I think he could.
I
Yep.
think he could after that whole rock thing. I think it's like a gateway, right? He did
Yes.
it once, it only gets easier the more you do it.
And that's what
So,
Tommy's hoping for.
right. So I do think that
Tommy
there's going to
wants
be this
that.
whole transference of,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes, this duality and transference between good and evil and how they're absorbing each other, but ultimately what they are will consume them.
Exactly. It's like a fire. They're going to burn out, both of them.
Exactly. And another reason why this imagery that we're looking at the very end of episode one is so amazing, such a great foreshadowing of where they can go.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to say before, like the way that the two doors on the side with the fire, it's definitely a choice. There's two different, there's two of them, and each of
Yes.
them, the fire inside of them is going to consume them both.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, no, it's really good. And I do think, because like I said, I wasn't thinking about it before, but I think you're right. I think Tommy planned the whole thing. I really do.
I do.
Uh,
I honestly do.
so what did he do? Did he contact Angus and say, hey, that guy John that you got into a fight with, guess what? He's running in the woods right now.
No, but
You
you know
know?
what? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that guy Angus came over to visit the son.
Yeah.
And then, like came over to visit the son, and the son was hanging out with him, and he knew that that's it was the path that he was going to take home, where he told his son, all right, your friend needs to leave now, or like came into, something of that nature that kind of put him on that course to start going home, knowing that John had already left and started running.
I don't think so, because I think we would have found that out later on in the season, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
I don't, I
most
don't, I don't
likely.
think it happened that way. I think Tommy went out of his way to tell this kid, you know what, that guy John, you're right about him. He's bad news, and now he's out. You can get him. I
I
can
could see
bet you he
that.
did it.
I
Yeah.
could see that instigation just to kind of continue his little experiments, see where he can push him to, like the next trial and the trial run for seeing what he's gonna do next. I
Because
definitely can see that.
it's
Absolutely.
quite a coincidence that he happens to go through this thing the same day, right?
Right.
It
The
happened the
same
same
day.
day.
This is all in one 24-hour
In,
period. That's
in a
right.
24-hour period, this happened to him. So it's too much of a coincidence, and I don't believe in coincidences. I think that this happened for a reason. I
I
think
agree.
Tommy told the guy, and that's why the guy was there.
100%. I agree
And
1000.
Tommy knew he wanted to kill this guy.
Yeah. He,
That was the whole point. He
yeah,
wanted
this
to
was
kill him.
definitely two birds, one stone for him. I 100% agree.
Yes.
With two birds, one stone.
Yes.
This definitely.
And then think about it. Then he could say, oh, this is perfect for him. Because Tommy doesn't
Right.
want to kill. He doesn't want to, but he's compelled to do it, right?
It almost
So if
feels like it's
John,
justified, right?
right, so he has to justify it. So if John can get into an altercation with this guy and leave him for dead, he can go back and finish the job as a mercy killing,
Exactly. That's exactly
right?
how he's seeing it, as a mercy killing. That's
Yes.
the justification in his mind. He didn't really do it. He's just doing a mercy kill to help out. And I think
Yes.
that, yes, exactly. And we also see
Mhm.
that in episode 2, which we'll talk about when we're on the next live, but with
Yes.
the deer, right?
Yes.
I love the way you just said that. I'm so excited for episode 2. Oh, chat, we have so much to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, this show, I mean, if you really sit down and dissect it, there's a lot going on here. There really
Yes,
is.
there really
And
is.
and then the wife, Rebecca, as the show goes on, you get to see more about her, what's up with her, what she's about, right?
Yeah.
And in a way, and of course we're not giving anything away here, um, she's almost as bad as Tommy, I would say.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. The way
Hmm.
she just chummed up to, oh my gosh, I cannot remember the wife's name, John's wife.
Fiona.
Fiona. The way that she chummed up to Fiona, I felt it was the same exact thing that Tommy was doing, but in his own way. She was observing and watching and seeing the ways that she could kind of sneak her way into her life so that they can get closer, so she can do what she needs to do, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what her motives are, but she looks like, I mean, they're married. She doesn't look like she's completely like oblivious to what's going on. She has to know something that's going on with her husband, with Tommy.
Yes,
You can just
yes,
tell the look that they have in each other's eyes, like they know what's going on with each other, even if they don't explicitly say it. They know.
yes, yes, exactly. But of course we find out more and more, and it's shocking actually. Uh, it's and the son, I mean, that son Cameron is really, he's creepy, right?
Right. He's really
Oh,
creepy. And then, I mean, we're gonna see this in the next episode where his headspace is once he finds out his friend is dead, and what the clues are that he starts to put together is a dangerous combination. I don't know exactly where it's gonna go, but he's just already so creepy and weird. Just so
yeah,
creepy and weird.
yes.
So just I feel like, I mean, he was raised by these two psychopaths that have no problem lying about so much. So you could only deduce like what craziness has he seen and done and become,
Yes.
when you're like kind of comparing and looking at them. And I'm just like, oh man, here we go.
And what's
For
interesting
it.
though is we find out in the next episode that Cameron suspects John. He thinks
Right,
John is the sus person. He's suspicious.
right. And that's what I
Now,
thought I was like, that's dangerous.
yeah, that's very dangerous because he does not see what's really going on. And why doesn't he see it? Because that's who he is.
Right,
Hmm.
right, right. And
Very
he's gonna
interesting.
only see what he wants to see.
Yes, because if he sees what it really is, then he has to look at himself too.
Right. And that's kind of where we almost started off with earlier, talking about how they, in the therapist office, John didn't really want to look within and see it himself or talk about anything. And we're back to
Yes,
that same type of
yes,
perspective here.
right. Right. So the safest topic for John in that therapy session was to talk about his wife and their lack of sex. And anything else he didn't want to talk about. He didn't want to talk about what happened in London. He didn't want to talk about um, his mother, but he
Right.
spoke about the fact that his wife wanted to have sex with him and he didn't want to.
Yes. And I thought that was, I mean, he wouldn't share certain details, but he would share other details. And of course, whatever the therapist knows, you just feel like Tommy's going to find out. And I know that,
Mhm.
he spoke about it, but I feel like it's just, I don't know. It's very
But
awkward the way the whole dynamic is and the way that little boys club is set up that Tommy's trying to
yes,
force John into. It's very weird.
yes. But yet he John felt comfortable enough to tell Tommy what happened in London, right?
Right.
And it's like you're talking to the devil here. But
Exactly.
I mean, he would tell him, but he wouldn't tell a therapist. So that again is John being seduced by evil.
hundred
John
percent.
is attracted to the evil that he sees in Tommy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, he is. He's attracted. It's that whole bad boy rebellious thing that he just
Yeah.
wishes he could have, and he
Hmm.
doesn't have it. And if he had that, maybe things in his life would be different. The relationship that he has with his wife, his kids, he would just be different. And it
Remember
kind of
what?
got it in, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. No, I was going to say something happens later in the season where
Uh-huh.
John actually says to Fiona, "Tommy's a real man." Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yes.
says that
That's
Tommy's a
yes,
real
the
man.
real man.
Yes. Yep.
And that's exactly what he's yearning for, because he
Yes.
sees himself as those headlines are portraying him as a
Yes.
coward, as
Yes.
someone that runs, and that
Right.
is obviously not a manly quality in his perspective, and that is
No.
something that he yearns for and doesn't know how to get because he always freezes or runs. He doesn't know how to stand up for anything. He can't even stand up to his wife. He can't stand up to his kids without, you know. So I definitely agree. You definitely kind of want what you are not. You see
Yes.
qualities that you don't have that you wish you had, and
Hmm.
for whatever reason, and when it's fueled by trauma and trying to resolve what happened to you, and if your answer is, "Well, if I could have been more like him, this would have never happened to me." When you
Hmm.
start to get that mindset, you suddenly want to pursue things that would change you. You wanna be around something that's different so that you can hopefully it rubs off on you.
Absolutely. Yeah, because that's where the attraction comes in. You see qualities in somebody else that you wish you had.
Yeah.
So if you feel if you can get closer to that person, you will become more like that person. And
Right.
that's
Even
what's happening here.
yeah.
Yes.
Beehive wrote in the chat, John felt more comfortable right after they talked about serial killers. Maybe the therapist just needs to put some books about Jeffrey Dahmer.
I like that, B. That's great. Give me that Jeffrey Dahmer book. I want to read that.
Right?
I
Get a
want
little
to read
blood
all
splatter
about
on that window.
Richard Ramirez.
Right? The Night Stalker. Get a little Ted Bundy up in there. Oh,
Let's not
that's
forget
cool.
Eileen Warnos. We got to get
Yes.
her in there
Oh,
too.
you gotta get her in there. Gotta have
But
a little
anyway,
balance.
yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
cool. It's all cool. So yeah, so guys, so listen, if you have anybody have any questions or anything, I see Scarlett came by again. Hi, Scarlett. I think she left.
Yeah.
She said good night. I think Dieter said good night. Uh,
Edgy.
yeah, yeah. Well, we had a good turnout.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, so we're going to have. Oh, well, I'm just reading some stuff be said before. Um, I like what she said. That she needs a. They need Deanna's camcorder.
Oh yeah. I saw that also. That's funny. Oh, Beehive. Oh, that's a really good point, Beehive. John is afraid of violence and Tommy seems to embrace it. John wants to not be afraid of it, so he's attracted to the polar opposite. And that's
Yes,
her take.
exactly.
And yes, that is
Yes,
nail on head. Perfect.
yes, perfect. That's exactly what it is. And the fact that Tommy was strong enough to handle the whole situation for John, John was
Right.
grateful to him.
Yes,
But if you
absolutely.
but if you think about it, you have a neighbor who's willing to cover up a murder for you. I mean,
That
let's
you
get
just
real.
met. It's not like
Yes,
your neighbor of 20 years.
yes,
Yeah, you just
yes,
met.
yes, yes. But again,
Yeah.
I think there's a dynamic between them that's unspoken. It's
Yeah.
unspoken. And we're going to see more of this as it goes on. Tommy will say certain things, John will say certain things, and we'll see the way they're actually thinking about their friendship and what's really going on here. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's going to be cool.
it will be. I'm so excited for us to get to next episode, and we're definitely
Yes.
gonna have rewatches. Beehive, it's a little late now, so I'm gonna get back to you tomorrow on streaming, and we'll figure out a time. I know I got you in the messages, and Lori, I'm gonna stream it for a couple of people that want it as the week goes on, and we'll get
Sure.
into. We won't. We'll just go and just keep kind of repeating 1 and 2 so that everybody can kind of catch up and be
Mhm.
ready for season 3 with Dieter on Saturday. I mean, season
Sounds
3. I
good.
keep saying season 3. I mean, episode 3. I'm
Episode
tired.
3.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning over here. I got to get up in a couple hours.
Oh, gee, you're working tomorrow. Yes.
Yes.
What
Oh, but
time you
this
have
is
to get
worth
up?
it. I get up at 5. Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh no, don't worry. If not, I don't want to lie because I won't lie, but I am gonna be fine. This has me fueled up. I'm so excited to be here. No worries.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm excited that you're here too. I'm
Oh, thank
excited to
you.
be here. So,
Yes. especially with everybody in the chat. This was a great turnout. We got some really great ideas
Yes.
and participation. Thank you so much
Yes.
that joined us. Scarlett, Beehive, Kelly, Sam, Popeye, Jamie Popeye. That was awesome. Thank you, Dieter. Appreciate you guys a lot. Kimberly came by. It was a really good turnout.
Yes, it was great. Yes, guys, thank you all for coming tonight. And yes, so Saturday we're going to show episode 3.
Oh, and Mike.
10
Sorry,
and Mike.
I forgot Mike.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mike. We're going to show episode 3 at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then we're going to have the live again on Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern
Perfect.
Standard Time. And we're going to also what we'll do on Saturday too, guys, is before we show episode 3, we'll show episode 2 before. We could do that also.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. We can actually
do one
show
and 2.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. We'll start at 8 o'clock, and if you want, I can set that up. If Dieter's not available, I got you, girl.
Why don't we just do that then? If most people hopefully will be available on Saturday, but if they're not, they can let us know. But I think it would work out better that way. This way, everyone can watch it together.
Perfect. I love it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Great. Yay,
great.
chat. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. Have a great day tomorrow, everybody. Bye, and thank you.
Bye. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.